Hi there. Welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. I already have some comments and everything. Welcome to the show. If you're here, please don't be shy. Say hello. I'm nice. I won't bite. We have a ton to talk about. I'm really psyched. Global Entertainment, welcome. And Azilla, hello. I'm happy you're here. Welcome. Thank you. He says, they say, a day like today, we are glad to be waiting and just relaxing. It's very nice. I appreciate it. Well, I hope a lot of people come tonight. If not, we'll have an intimate group, and that'll be really cool. So we have some pretty serious stuff to talk about, as you all may know. So I'm going to start off with an introduction. Welcome, Margarita. Hi. Happy you said hello. I just want to welcome everybody to the show. People come and go, and don't be shy to say what you want to say, because I want it to be about my friends, the viewers. Okay? And I talk enough anyway. So our topics tonight, as I said, and you know, are pretty serious. But this week's discussion topics, as always, include anything you feel is significant and newsworthy about racism, bigotry, and inequality, and corruption in America. The show is meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their mind and also to serve as a learning tool for white folks who want to learn about systemic racism. So let me see. Already I have Global Entertainment. Did you see the lady that's, did I ever? It's up on I saw the lady that spat on a protester. Yes. It was horrible. And I had to actually do my very first, she got arrested again, you know? I mean, it's like something's really wrong with her. She was arrested actually a week after that as well. So I was like, dang, she's an attorney though. I mean, I don't know. I guess I forget that people who are, professionals can be lunatics too. That was really, really sad. And I hope that it was a little boy actually, was okay. He seemed like he was tough and good, but I mean, that's scary. It's an adult. So I posted that on my YouTube channel and blocked out the kid's picture because, it's a very strange thing. And I think even stranger was what she was trying to do. Like, she took it upon herself to stop the entire group from, who the hell did she think she was? I just found that to be quite strange. I don't know. It was almost like white privilege on steroids with with some serious entitlement. Maybe she was on drugs or something. I don't know. It's just crazy. I can't answer for him. I just post them. That was absolutely, but I really, really liked how everyone protected the young, a young man. Well, I can't tell how old he was. He was obviously very young though. I'm really happy to see people protect him, and they even protected her, which is the right thing to do, because people like that, they need help. And so I had a proud moment as a human, but which are few and far between. Jillian, it's not drugs, it's white supremacy last day. Yeah, you know what? You're right. And I mostly was kidding the drugs thing, but yeah, Jillian, and welcome, Jillian. Thanks for being here. You're right. It's white supremacy's last stand. I don't understand. But you know what? I don't think I want to understand. It's just such a weird thing, how anyone can be like this, but yet here we are with so many people like this. So, but you're right, Jillian, thank you. I stand corrected. But she just seemed crazy. Like, she was going to stop all those people because she couldn't dare. And I just, oh my God, like, the entitlement is like beyond me. So anyway, before we get started into content, which we're going to do right away, I wanted to introduce myself to anybody who's new or who watches after the live part. Angry Soccer Mom. A little more disappointed than angry, but I'm extremely pleased to see that some white folks are stepping up to the plate a little bit. Sure, they might not know what they're doing. They might have the idea and not know a thing, but you know what? It sure beats people not giving a shit. And pretty much this is some unprecedented stuff we're seeing, I think. Jillian, police need to be defunded and the police unions must be permanently banned. That is my topic tonight. You got it. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm going to explain why to people who are new and maybe don't quite know about it. But abso-stinkin-lutely. And I can only hope that this just keeps up, and I can only hope that it can continue. Quick announcements, and we will get started. immediately. My rant is non-existent tonight. It's in lieu of the beginning. So I'll get through a couple of quick notes. If you hear about any breaking news that you think is important, that should be public immediately on any of the social medias, please get to me right away. I will put you can PM me at my Angry Soccer Mom page that I still barely have going, and personal message me, please. And I will be really thrilled. A lot of times I have 20 people doing it, but sometimes people send me pretty good stuff. And it's stuff people need to know, but it's just kind of outside the normal, if people look at the regular news. So I get some interesting stuff. Global TV entertainment. A group of Trumpsters were mocking protesters and George Floyd by kneeling on a black dummy. Did you see that video? No. I didn't see that. Oh, send it my way. I saw tons of kids doing it. Not to a dummy, but just to each other. I saw there was just so much going on. You guys, this is just crazy. This is like all out. What you said, Julian, it's like their last stand, I guess, in wanting to make sure that this country remains racist as hell. It's unbelievable. I've never seen such poor behavior. But anyway, okay. Jillian, I saw the press conference this morning. Slave catchers bitching and more bitching. Oh God, I posted something on my YouTube channel about a man talking about how upset he was, and I actually posted it, and I didn't mince words. I said, seriously, dude. Like, I mean, not that he's going to read my stuff, but my title was like, maybe you know a little bit how it feels now. I mean, it's like he was wah crying because people just vilify, that group of people. It's like, what the hell do you think they've done to Black people? We've done to Black people for centuries. And I'm not saying, now you know how it feels, but clearly this person's making it about them. I was disgusted. This white dude. And you know what? I want to go, you know what, mister? It's not your turn. Step aside. Yeah, no, you know what? This is crazy. This is not the first time, the second, the 20th, the thousandth, the billionth. This is no, and no. It was unbelievable watching somebody act that way. And I believe he truly believes that, all this is horrible happening to him. Just doesn't get it. It's just doesn't get it. So if you have any good videos, send them my way. If you have time, if you have any connections with people you think I should connect with, I would love to know, or people who you feel like I should collaborate with, or even more importantly, people who you think need their story told. No, regular radio station's going to tell their story because, they probably get a gazillion a day. I will tell their story if they're a Black person, African-American, Indigenous, brown, or person of color. And it doesn't matter if it's huge. It doesn't matter if it's small. If it matters to them, I will tell their story for them or put their story on, because that's what I'm here for. I want to use my white privilege, to have the voices of the actual people this impacts, kills, brutalizes, terrorizes, etc., to say what they have to say. And I think the only way white folks are going to learn is to hear it from the people. I mean, I'll never be close enough to know what it really feels like, but people who live it do. So it's really important. Lakeisha, hi, thank you for being here. I'm just going to take a couple more comments and then we will get going. Let me see. Global Entertainment TV. The Christopher Columbus statue is down on the ground now. Yeah, soon all the colonists and Confederate statues will be down, but it doesn't hide the fact of American history, don't you think? Oh, God, hell no. I think I told you guys this a long time ago, and I don't know who was there and who wasn't, but a long time ago, I saw something that has impacted me my entire life. I know, okay, drama, yes, but I mean, it really has. I saw a man being walked on the news into a death chamber to put him to death for, capital punishment. And he walked through the doors of a state facility that had a Confederate flag on it. And honestly, nothing could have said more. There was no words. He walked through to go to his death. And I looked up and I was like, are you shitting me? I couldn't believe it. Because, I'm so naive because I've only lived in California and New York. So I realize all this stuff happens. But Yeah. So yeah, I don't want those near anybody. It's sick. It's a threat. It's a silent threat. It's like, ugh, absolutely. Um, Excellent comment and question. Yep. Jillian, the feds have warned that white people have filtrated the law enforcement, even though they are already foot soldiers. Yeah, I mean, we all people that how much do they have to spell it out? I've never seen. I'm actually going to talk about that tonight. It's way beyond just physical. These people are white supremacists. I'm sorry, that's what they are. This isn't just any old protest. They know exactly what's being protested, and it's white supremacy, and that pisses them off. And I've seen police, and I know you have too, do some way beyond just being physical, way beyond hurting people. They're just nasty. They're truly nasty, and I can't believe that some of them are going to get away with this. But enough about my emotions. Let me see here. I'm going to take some more comments. Oh, I started an Instagram. I started a Twitter. I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm at angry_soccer mom on Instagram, and I'm at Imagine No Hate on Twitter. And good luck with me ever using those. No, I'm just kidding. My friend Dan's supposed to teach me a little bit more. And as you know, I'm on my YouTube, and I do a show every Wednesday night at 9 Eastern, and I'm thrilled to have you here. Mr. FS Black, hello. Thank you for being here. I've seen people make a social media challenge out of this with posts of them kneeling on their friends. These racists treat our pain like a joke. You know what? I've seen some of that too. It's disgusting. The level of asinine insensitivity and just pure low-class lack of humanity is beyond. Like, do they think this is a fucking joke or something? Do they think this is funny? It's probably good that I have to be careful not to put people on that are like really young on my YouTube, because it's against the rules. Because I saw some people and I wasn't sure how old they are, but I'm not against outing people. It's disgusting. I just have to be careful not to get shut down. But Mr. Vest Black, you said it all. Disgusting. And if I were the parents, oh my God, if a child of mine ever did that, they wouldn't, obviously. Just saying, their life as they know it would cease to exist in any sort of functional manner. It'd be over. I mean, over. That is the sickest thing. Oh my God. See, I always get triggered by everybody. And it's so cruel. I just don't get it. It's disgusting. Global entertainment TV. Protesters are still waiting for the general release statute to come down. What's my opinion? You mean, do I think statues of people who didn't consider Black people to be humans and didn't want them to have the right to be a human should come down? Hell yes. I think they should have come down centuries ago. I mean, obviously they should have never gone up in the first place. They put them up late, and you know why they put them up? They put them up to intimidate people. They weren't put up immediately. They were put up in a timely manner, and I've shown I do a video on it. I find it abhorrent. I find it disgusting, and I found that since I was 12 years old. It's sick. Absolutely, it makes me question humanity. Actually, makes me kind of question what's wrong with these people. What's wrong with these people? It's just really bad. But yeah. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know why it's legal for any of that to be up. If you love your Confederate sicko history, go to your Confederate sicko museum for it or whatever. Don't put it near me, and do not put it near children or any children that I know or love. No way. I would not. It's horrible. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Yeah, not good. Let me see. Now, are you aware of 57 Buffalo cops resigning over the 2 cops pushing? Yes. Pushing an old man to the floor where he was rushed to the hospital. Yes. And apparently they resigned not from the police force, but from that actual unit that goes out there. And, they're sticking to each other, and it just says it all. Klan. That's Klan. That's the Blue Line Klan. And I am so done mincing words. The more I talk about it, the more we'll get into it. We'll get into content. But yes, I was aware of that. And it's almost, if I didn't see it with my own eyes, it's almost unbelievable. Somebody just posted to me and they said that the guy who actually, the older gentleman that went up there, that he was trying to, I don't know, this could be, because I've been getting a lot of fake news from Democrats lately, well-meaning Democrats, but they've been sending me fake news, so I was to check it out. They said he was trying to turn in a helmet to a guy that he found. Now, that could be, fake news or whatever. I've seen a ton of fake news that looks real. Why it looks real, you might ask? Because the stuff that Trump does and his Klan does is so out there that it could be real. It's so crazy. I mean, the fake stuff absolutely could be real. It's unbelievable. Let me just see here. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. There's just so much going on. WS. I know I need to know what that is. White people. White supremacy. Oh, okay. I don't know. Get it. White supremacy in law enforcement. FBI warned it in 2006. Yep. You can actually go and look up the records. In 2006, they noted that there was infiltration from the KKK people, and they arrested a couple people. And then they didn't continue to investigate like in everybody in the entire police force, because the police force, we're going to talk about it. I have so much, you're not going to believe all the stuff that exactly what you're saying, because you know what? It's true. I get it. Thank you. White supremacy. Yep, absolutely. And they still, you guys, they didn't forget. Like, oh, we just forgot. No, they don't give a shit. They don't care. The police are there to enforce and make sure that people who are socioeconomically less well off, and people who are Black and brown and African American stay in their place, so that the wealthy people can go about their business feeling safe. And it's just a bunch of bullshit. It really is. And we'll talk about that in depth. Let me take a few more comments. I'm thrilled to have everybody here. Nails and glitter. Those cops only left the emergency response. You and I think alike. I applaud if they actually quit. They aren't needed. They aren't needed. Did you guys see how almost it was like military. Every one of them walked by. The man is unconscious and bloody on the ground, and they pretty much marched right by him. That's protecting and serving. Yay, police. That's disgusting. So I got to say that was horrible. And here's the problem. In my last podcast I did with Tosh, he spelled out to me something he learned at a conference. That basically police are there, I won't say it in the correct way he said it, but they are in charge of making sure that the people they're not there to serve and protect. Let's put it that way. And it's become crystal clear. It's just become crystal clear. They are there for white supremacy is what they're there for. There's no doubt in my mind. And I mean, I always thought that, but after seeing these police do these horrific acts, if you are a member of the police force, I'm sorry, you might be in the wrong job and you might get out, but you're either doing the crime or watching someone do it and not turning them in. And if you're watching them do it and not turning them in, you might as well done it yourself. Guilty as charged. I'm just sick of this shit. These are our fellow humans. How dare these people abuse our fellow humans like this? It's disgusting, and they're horrific individuals, and they need to be stopped. So there's so much to talk about tonight, but I'm going to try to stay focused. Let me see. Global Entertainment TV. If the person was one of their white supremacists and put down by a knee of a policeman, they would be bitching and moaning today, right? Of course. Abso-stinkin-lutely. Yeah, no, this is the police are there as, like I called the last podcast, Slave Patrol 2.0. Nothing's really changed. It just changed in form. And any person who's Black, Brown, Indigenous, or African American, or person of color absolutely knows this. I don't think I have a single friend, honestly, who hasn't told me a story. This is not an accident. This is very purposeful. Let me see here. Jillian, now there's a story out in Salem where a cop helped armed white supremacists to avoid arrest. Oh, I haven't seen that. I believe it. You guys, there have been stories coming in. Like, I literally can't keep up. It's insane. Thank you for telling me about that. Nails and glitter. Did you see the story about the Black police trainer that was shot by his own cop while trying to de-escalate the situation? No, I heard about it, but I didn't read about it. I just read up. There's so much going on. It's insane. Mr. F.S. Black, thank you, Nails and Glitter. I've heard that New Jersey might be the first state to classify the KKK, neo-Nazi, and other white supremacist organizations as domestic terrorist groups. That would be nice, because they are. This whole thing is just a big, we live a lie. White people, I don't know if we enjoy living a lie or we just don't care, don't get it. I don't know. White folks in America live a lie. And it's almost like some sort of fantasy. Like, I want to go, what are the color of the skies in your world? It's just unbelievable. It's gaslighting and twisting and fibs and lies and just made up shit. It's just unbelievable. It's not good. Very, very dishonest way to live. Very dishonest. Let me see here. I reached the bottom. I have a lot to catch up on. You can tell because I've been working on so many other things, and half these things I haven't even seen, and I've been sitting here all day long. The police are the biggest and most dangerous gang. Nails and Glitter, absolutely. And they have this sick camaraderie with one another. It's really bad. Global entertainment. It seems Republican Senator Paul Rand is against the Anti-Lynching Act. Why? Are politicians so insensitive to people of oppression? It's a really strange thing. I've read a couple of things on, not that in particular, but when that came up before, some of them are saying the words in the bill include things that are not remotely as important as harming somebody. Like, they include scratching someone. Oh, that's a lynching. Spitting on someone's a lynching. So some of them were making excuses like that, saying, well, certain things were included that didn't make it seem, they were trying to be cool. Like, they didn't make it seem serious enough. But it's just, the bottom line is we got a corrupt bunch of people running this nation. And sure, it might not be everybody, but it's sure a hell of a lot of them. It's enough to put us where we are now. So it's crazy. My topics for tonight are all about police. And I have experts that I have looked into, experts in the field and what they say. And what they say is what pretty much my friends and audience say. So you'll be very glad to know. The topics I have for tonight are the myth of police reform, defunding police, research on body cameras that are worn by police, how militarization increases police violence, according to many studies. Duh, right? I mean, like, thanks for telling us that. How much did you spend on that study? But yeah, I get it. Sorry. Police unions, how they block accountability, and mental health experts as first responders. And maybe I will get to some of my friends' comments on police brutality. So jump on in whenever you want to. I'm going to start with the myth of police reform. Now, a lot of white folks, how do I know this? Because I talk to a lot of white folks, and a lot of them say, the people who are, kind of far from the left, they might be against police brutality, but they're never going to go for reform. So they're never going to go for they're never going to go for, deconstructing and taking down the system. So we'll just go for reform, and that's better. And you know what? I think not. And this person seems to agree that I read about. It's very interesting. So I'll get started on that. If I can get my little, there we go. So if we take all emotions out of the picture, yeah, right, like that's going to happen. When we examine police shootings, and people like to examine the moment, they like to examine the movement of the officer right before they murder somebody. The goal is to pinpoint the officer's actions, trying to determine what his or her state of mind was at the time, what their state of mind was if they're going to hurt somebody and they're killing somebody. Okay, I'll tell you right now, but that's not a professional way to answer. So we ask, was their actions justified? Well, according to Mr. Coates, Ta-Nehisi Coates, the real question should not be that. It should be, were we justified in sending the police, the militant police, out in the first place? According to an article in The Atlantic, Coates believes that at some point in life, it must have been before I was born, Americans decided that the best way to solve every social problem we have is to use the criminal justice system. Now, just by chance, I'm sure, our criminal justice system, I lied, it's not chance, happens to be the most racist, ludicrous, obnoxious system at every turn. I once broke it down, and I could find, just me, and I'm not an expert, I could find 17 places to pinpoint once you get arrested where they can screw you over and be racist, and you will, nothing you can do about it. So he's right. And I don't know if you're a fan of his or not, but I absolutely agree with what he's saying here, is that we do that. And let me explain. Today we use police officers who basically, for almost every social issue we have. For example, we use police for homeless people. Why wouldn't we just help them get a home and a job and settled in? We arrest them. We tell them to move. We do things to them. I mean, we have police bring people in who are on drugs. Why wouldn't we have a mental health counselor, a drug rehabilitation specialist help them? You think bringing them to prison is going to help them? It's not going to help them. It's horrible. These people need help, not hurt. But wherever the police are, seems to be a place where people are hurt, harmed terribly. It just goes with the territory. Why not help these people? Create a plan, help them recover. It's all purposeful. Our police are not there to protect and serve unless you are white and, fairly well off. I'll be honest. Where I live, police act differently. It's unbelievable. I live out in the country, and I see them acting different in the cities. It's just unbelievable. It is unbelievable. They're not even trying to hide it. I've seen it in action. It's disgusting. Well, this culture of ours it's just wrong. I mean, we want to make money off of people for their sorrows, or why do we do this? I think white culture is screwy in America. I can't, speak for all white culture, but for the love of God, these police are still slave catchers, as far as I'm concerned. And boy, did they show their stuff during these protests. We have police coming to get people who are exhibiting mentally ill behavior. I cannot think of anyone, really, I would rather not see near a mentally ill person than a police with a gun who doesn't know what the hell they're doing. And it's just so scary. I'm sorry, police are not qualified, not even remotely, to do this. In fact, most police aren't even qualified to do what they're doing. And that's probably why they do it. It's almost like it's a free-for-all. You want to be a police? You want to basically be a corrupt bad guy? It's like, instead of just doing crime, they decided to be a police officer, and I don't even get it. The things I've seen this week and last week and throughout life, it's unbelievable. But I just don't get it. So we make police into the caretakers of basically people who need actual help. And I'm sure once in a while they do get actual help. But after watching this, we use the criminal justice system for parents who can't pay child support. We bring them right into prison. Yeah, that's what they need, is to go to prison. They're going to learn their lesson. What if they can't get a good job? I mean, my God, you think they're going to get one after they have a criminal record? I mean, it is ridiculous. We don't give a shit about people unless they're white and well off. Everyone else, we're there. We have our police there to make sure they don't get in the way of all the white people. I just believe that. So, I mean, it's just crazy. How could a guy that's in prison or a woman that's in prison for not paying child support pay child support? We love punishment. And I'm starting to think we have a really fucked up society in the sense that it's just our culture. This is who we are. And I know that's a lot of people say that when they say we have Trump. The good part is no more cognitive dissonance at all. We have a president who really, truly represents us. And this whole thing with protesters stepping up to the plate, white folks a little bit, has been interesting. I'm going to read a little bit about that. So in this article, Coates espouses that there's a place for fear and compliance, but it's incredibly inappropriate in so many cases. Yet here we are in 2020 with protests about police brutality, where it appears that the police are trained to purposely use fear, intimidate, and use physical force as much as humanly possible while wearing all their military gear. And I've never seen anything like it. I counted 35 incidences that I knew about in the last 2 days, 48 hours, 35. And those are just the big ones that make it. So let me take some comments. Bakari, hello. Thanks for being here. Pleased to have you. Law enforcement has been tyrants. It's not law enforcement. It's Mr. Black. It's like America's solution to everything is force. Exactly. It's like the most insensitive, inhumane, and I'm sorry, it's the white people. Sorry, I know that's, what an insult. It's the white people. I'll just say it again. It's the white people. We don't have a problem in this country with people in numerical minority groups. We have a problem. It's called a white person problem. And I'll be the first to say it. And sure, you just hate white people. Well, that's a really small-minded way to think about it. Maybe I believe that we can do better. Maybe I think that this is not our best. And if it is, it's disgusting because it's inhumane. I don't hate white people. I am so incredibly disappointed in my white fellow brothers and sisters. Not every one of them, but most of them, to be honest, because most of them don't do a damn thing. Okay. And that's why it shocked me to see so many people out at the protests. And I'm glad they have. And even if they don't know what's going on, they're just there. They know it's the idea. I mean, beats having them sit at home and not care. It's the beginning. So actually this week I made a video for beginners. It's not getting much attention, but I made a video in case somebody wants to know what the next step is after, protesting. Like, okay, so that's it. No, educate yourself. So I made a little video, turned into like a 12-minute video. So let me take some more questions. It is America's solution to everything. Let me see. Bakari, the police department started from the slave patrols. Absolutely. I put that in there. I explain everything. Yep. And it seems like they really, that's changed. Just changed in form. Let me just scooch something over. Nails and glitter. The police feed people into slavery. Absolutely. If you're a prisoner, you're legally a slave under the 13th Amendment. And I mentioned that in the video too. I try to explain the little catch they have in the 13th Amendment, that not all slavery has been abolished. And that's pathetic and disgusting that we do that. It really is. And it's absolutely purposeful. That's the crazy part. These are not oversights. These are purposeful things. Yep, thank you. The school to prison pipeline is a pipeline to slave. Absolutely, is literally and figuratively a pipeline to slavery. Yep, absolutely. Thanks for bringing up such good points. Sadly, it's true. Global entertainment. Officials are seeing a rise of the virus in people in pre-lockdown cities. Did they open up the cities too soon? Personally, I was just watching China and all the places that came before us. Absolutely. I think 100%. But see, people don't care. I'm sorry, but the people who are in charge are literally so racist. They know that Black folks are more impacted because of all the systemic racism they've already endured. Of course, we opened it up too soon because, you see, we care about money over humans. And that is just a fact. And anyone can debate me on that because there's too many examples. Our culture of white supremacy is capitalism on steroids. Inhumanity at its, I guess, would it be worst or best? Inhumane, extremely inhumane. It's like, is an F- better than F+? Like, you really got an F or you forget it. It's just a crazy thing I'm thinking, but it's terrible. And it's our culture. And call it white culture. I don't know what you call it, but just saying it how it is. Let me see here. Yeah, absolutely. Let me see. Everyone needs a higher level of PP. Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. Yep. I don't know about you guys, but I can't get a test. I still can't get a test. I can't get an antibody test, and I can't get a real test to see if I have had it. Nothing. This nation has dropped the ball completely. It's a joke, and we don't even give a shit. Extremely, it's like somebody's drowning our whole country, and the president could help, but he doesn't want to. And then the next week he doesn't want to, and we're still drowning. And the next week it's just anytime he could make this stop, but he doesn't. And I'm sure it's connected to racism somehow, as we know. Everything seems to be leading back to it. Yep, great points. Nails and glitter. N95s were cheap before the pandemic. Now they're overpriced and hard to find. Dave, welcome to the show. So great to see you. I was thrilled to go up to Black Lives Matter in Niskayuna. Troy had 11,000 protesters who turned out. That is awesome. I hope you had your masks on. Very cool. I'm glad you went there. That's awesome. So the video that I made for the people who might have gone to a protest and kind of not known what the next step is, I'm hoping that some of my friends and people who watch these kind of videos will spread it around. If they have, my beginner group has been flooded with new people, which is really cool. So people do want to learn. So that's kind of cool. The card. God damn it, we need a reparation so we can repair what the government and rich never did. Yeah. That is such a high level anti-racism place for white people to be. I honestly, today I went back in my stuff and I have a poster that says, you probably don't even know what the word means to white people, because most people, until this election cycle, didn't know what reparations were. Most white folks, they'd never heard of the term. Maybe they've heard of it for other things, but they've never even heard of it. So it's pretty bad. So it appears to me that police literally have no coping strategies except to use physical force on people. And then there's the human side of it, or the lack thereof. I have never seen such widespread, aloof, obnoxious lack of humanity in my entire life. Then you'd think, okay, maybe I'm just thinking like I think, but you'd think, okay, just think about this. We're having a protest, right, about police brutality, and the police are brutalizing the protesters for the protest for police brutality. It's unfreaking believable. It's just unbelievable. Seriously. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Dave, Republicans not only refuse to want reparations, they want to use the Supreme Court to chip away at affirmative action. Absolutely. Clarence Thomas got to get a quality education thanks to affirmative action. Right. Affirmative action helps lots of people, and mostly women too. So we are so uneducated, we don't even know. But let me get into some content here, because I think you will like some of this content. And I want to know what you think. It's as if the police in these protests have somehow lost their ability to act human. Or is this just who they are, and we're seeing them on such a large scale because there's so many protests everywhere that we're getting to see more? I don't know. But keep in mind, when this police atrocities are taking place at these protests, there are usually a ton of other police around them. At any second, anyone could make it stop. Now, I know there's a military order and police do that, but at any second, I truly believe if somebody saw something, they could make it stop. And probably they get fired for breaking order, but you know what? I'm sorry. It's called being human. Try it sometime, police. I mean, I just don't get it. So I saw one horrific crime where a fellow officer stopped only one. They stopped their partner. Did you guys see the one where they threw the leg out of the way? The guy was throttling the guy with his knee, just like they did to George Floyd. The same damn thing. And the camera was on him, and then he shoved his knee off. And I was like, wow. That's the only time I've ever seen it. Not that I watch police constantly, but these things have gone way beyond just physical abuse. Did you guys see police taking a knee, but only to lure the excited protesters closer so they could open fire on them in their face? I mean, this stuff's crazy. Sure, the bullets are rubber coated, but they're bullets still. So let me take some comments. Let's see here. Republicans refused. Oh, yeah, got that one. Are they NIOSH certified? I have no idea. Dave, Thomas and the other 4 justices have chipped away at affirmative action and voting rights. They're truly monstrous people. How did they sleep at night? I have no clue. That's a very good point. I have no clue. The KN95s aren't the real thing. Do you want to explain to us folks who don't know what those are? That would be amazing, because I want to get involved in this conversation. Global Sheep Nails Glitter. They always had all kinds of special filter masks for surgery. Yeah. They're militarized. It's terrifying. I'm so naive to think that they actually would come out and show how to be human. Instead, they've gone the opposite. They've gone out of their way. Let me see. Yeah, they lured them in. They took a knee, like they think it's funny, like they're making like a joke about it. They lured them in and then shot them right in the face. You guys see that one? I saw a police video of people shooting at medics who were carrying a child that was injured. We've seen scores of absolutely peaceful protesting, appropriate behavior, huge crowds, and then suddenly police decides to tear gas everybody and shoot them. And I put a compilation up on the YouTube that I do, my channel, of like 5 different circumstances where the press was being shot. It was like they're yelling, "I'm press, I'm press." You see a giant camera. You see a giant microphone. The police don't give a shit. I mean, it's out of control. Police are out of control, and they don't even care. And oh my God, slashing tires? They're slashing tires. This is like they're the criminals. They're showing their real selves. So I don't get it. If somebody has an explanation for me, better than they're just actually criminals, bring it on. Thank you. I know they have some real N95s, but so far overpriced. The N95 masks seal around your face and filter 95% of the part. Okay, got it. So you're talking about masks and the quality of masks. So crazy. We've seen police look around to make sure no one's looking and then start beating the shit out of somebody. I mean, this is a lifestyle for them. It's crazy. We're getting to see it all. We've seen police look around and deem, no one's around. They must have missed the camera. Oops. But there are just so many reasons why police are literally the last people that should be called to a scene to help intervene. They make everything worse. And it seems like they're doing it on purpose. According to Coates, the myth of police reform is that police reform is this idea saying that the real problem is the belief that our social problems can be solved with force. And we can force the drunk person to do better. We can force the person who's drugged out to do better. We can force the homeless person. It's like inhumanity. It's like we're turning into like Neanderthal type, we've lost our humanity. Any person today that's around and with their eyes open knows exactly what I'm talking about. The very last thing you'd want in some of these situations is a volatile person coming in who wants to arrest people and handcuff people and stuff them in a cage. And that's basically their goal. I mean, I just saw a video where a little boy was being traumatized, and I'm going to post it later on. It might be old, but I've never seen it. And I didn't get the chance to look. This little boy, he's a little black boy with two little white kids and maybe one other black kid. I'm not sure because the camera wasn't on him. Some police went up to him and started roughing him up. And you hear the friend going, just, don't resist. Come on, please don't resist. And the police starts manhandling this kid. And the three kids start screaming and like attacking the police officer. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. The two white kids were like shrieking it. And basically the thing said, use your white privilege to do good. And I was like, damn, I've never seen anything like that. So maybe it's old. I don't know. But wow. The white kids lost their mind. They just started because they could. I think they were hitting on the police, actually trying to stop them from hurting their friend. And it was like, wow. So sad. I mean, they're all traumatized for life. So how in the world are police helping? I'm sorry. I don't know. Do they help once in a while? I'm sure. But this culture, it is not good. The truth of the matter is we send police to capture people. Most definitely. To capture them, not to help them. Do you guys agree? Let me find out. Let me see. I know this because of the P100s, which are approved. We're talking masks for lead and asbestos. What happened to America? It seems to be a police state. Yeah, it does. When they pushed a 75-year-old man down and walked away from him. That was unbelievable. They just walked by. It just kind of said it all, just really said it all. I agree. I mean, I don't know what's going on, guys, but I think, what do you think of all the, I'm like sweating here. I really am sweating. I'm like, give me air. I'm getting worked up. What do you think of all these places? I forgot what the name of it is. Have you guys been looking into this? The places that are not sanctuary cities, but they've autonomous zones are starting. Do you guys know about autonomous zones? I looked it up for about an hour. Oh, right, of course. Nails and glitter. They've been doing this forever, but you're just seeing it now. And mind you, I know they've been doing it forever, but part of the thing is we have these video cameras, and the videos are just coming in one after another. And although definitely I've seen it in action when I was in Compton, police were ludicrous. They were obnoxious. I actually, at one point, and I was so naive. Ghost Killer, welcome. I was so naive. I was like 24 or 23. The police came to arrest two little boys out of my classroom, and I slammed the door on them and locked it. And it was my first reaction because they were my babies. So I basically slammed the door. I just remembered I did that. And I'm laughing only because I'm like, I guess maybe my white privilege, I don't know. I mean, I was in Compton. They came. They didn't warn me. I was teaching the kids, and all of a sudden I saw police outside, and they knocked. I went to the door, looked, and they said, "Let us in. We're arresting somebody." And I slammed the door shut and locked it. And then I was like, "Oh shit! Now what do I do?" And so then my principal started yelling at me through the door, and it was awful. It was just terrible. But anyway, so I mean, my reaction was, nobody's taking my babies away. They were my first kids. I didn't have children. They were my first real kids. So I was horrible. It was just an awful, awful, awful thing. I loved the two. I know what they did. I knew what they did, but it was so wrong what they did to them. They arrested him and humiliated him, and so stupid. But yeah, so nails and glitter. I know it's been happening forever, but these videos, and then having so many protests with so many police acting out in with such huge groups watching them. I guess I just never thought they would do things with 500 people watching. Does that make sense? Every video I get, there's 100, there's a bazillion people watching, and they don't give a shit in broad daylight. It's unbelievable to me. And yes, I am very, very sheltered, but I've never seen hundreds of people standing there and the police still, it's because they know they can get away with it. It's a goddamn free-for-all. It really is. And so defunding versus reform. Defunding versus reform. Do you guys see all the signs that say defund police? Are you wondering what those are about? What? Defund police? We need police. Well, you'd be surprised. They're showing us who they've always been. Yeah, and on such a large scale, too. I don't know. I guess it doesn't make sense to me because it's it's a protest against police brutality where the police come in and purposely brutalize. I don't know. I don't know. Have you seen footage of those warrior mentalities police training seminars? It's utterly bone-chilling. This man, Dave Grossman, encourages police to behave more barbaric. I have not seen them, but I absolutely believe it because that's how they're acting. They're acting like they're Rambo or not good. It's I've just never seen people so proud and willing to do it with so many witnesses. It's no shit's given. It's just so scary. So you guys haven't heard of these autonomous zones? It's I learned about it today. I studied it for about 2 hours today. It's very fascinating. It's people who the police. I can't explain it very well because it's a very strange concept. I've never heard of it before today. I mean, I've heard of the idea, but I never knew there existed. But there's one in Minneapolis and there's one in Washington and Seattle. And basically, there are these zones where they have declared that it is no longer America and they are not following the rules. And I'm not 100% sure of the legalities of it, but it is a thing. And police have backed off and they've left. And they have free food, they have free clothing, everything's free, everyone. And there's been thousands of people there and they're doing just fine, protesting and doing fine. And they are trying to move homeless people over. It's a very, very unique concept. And it's way, 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 way left, like over the top left and over a couple of hills and maybe, over a few mountains. But I was, my son was explaining it to me because he's, knows all this stuff. And I'm going to be watching that and going to be reporting on it. It's very interesting. And what it is it's basically people who, and it's not Antifa because that's a kind of an idea, not particularly a group, although everyone likes to think it's a group. It's people who are done with the fascism. They're done. They don't want to live here anymore. So they are taking land, boarding it up and saying, I'm done. Police cannot cross this line. We don't want you here. And the police, incredibly, are doing it. Did you hear about was it a council member who let all the public into their city council? And they went inside, thousands went inside. He or she unlocked, I think it was a guy, I'm not sure, unlocked the doors and called for the mayor to leave, and thousands of people in Seattle, Washington, City Hall. And it was amazing and crazy. So look into those autonomous Autonomous zones. Very interesting. I think the hope is that they get one in New York City, San Francisco, some of the bigger cities, and that it spreads. We'll have to see. But autonomous zones, people on the far, far left are done. They are done, and they're actually making zones that apparently do not have to follow the rules of the United States. I had to weigh into it because it's just some crazy stuff. But if you know about it, let me know, because I watched about 7 videos, read 3 articles. I'm just like, wow. And it's a really widespread thing among extreme leftists. So, well, we'll see. It's kind of, I hope it spreads, because you know what? Something's got to stop this. Something's got to stop this. The people have spoken. And the reason they do this is because the people aren't being heard. People don't want, for the most part, probably most people don't want police brutality. Most people want common sense gun laws. Most people want universal health insurance. I mean, our government is not working for the people, like I have to tell you that. So, defunding versus reform. So for years, we've heard we should make sure all police have body cameras, anti-bias training, I guess you could call it, to reform racism and police brutality. And according to Alex Vital, who is a professor of sociology and a coordinator of a special project, it's the Policing and Social Justice Project in Brooklyn, he says that won't cut it. And he's an expert in the field. He's written a book. The only way to get police better is to get less of them by defunding them. And that is his idea in his big book. And apparently a lot of people are catching on to it. So this is what they're talking about. I'm going to present this defunding idea, and explain it a little further, because it sounds a little crazy, but when I read it, it makes sense. What are they talking about? Defund. What they're talking about is defund. The professor believes that protests have been, the reason for them is a convergence of a number of factors, including the recession that has apparently kicked in, the pandemic, and tons of lack of reform for police brutality. He believes that this combination has created the type of motivation that's necessary to unleash the general public and get generational activism, as he calls it. In other words, people from every generation saying, we don't want this. And that's what we're seeing right now. Because I guess a lot of sociologists are like, what the actual, what is happening here? I mean, I know I am. And according to this professor, police are the public face of the failure of the state to provide people's basic needs and to paper over the failures with solutions that just harm people further. So let me say that one more time. Police are the public face of the failure of states to provide for people's basic needs. And it absolutely makes sense. Think about that. We don't have mental health coverage for people. So we have police arrest them. More than half the people in freaking jail and prison probably have mental illnesses that could be treated, just like if they had a heart disease. But we are so incredibly into punishing people instead of helping them. And it's disgusting. That's why I cannot stand this culture. It's unbelievable. And it's not just today. It's yesterday, the day before, It was when I was 5. It was when I was 12. I finally found a voice to actually put it into words. Vitali says that one of the reasons today's protests are so much larger and widespread than they were 5 years ago was because the people were told, don't worry, white people, we're going to give the police implicit bias training and we'll give them body cams and it'll all get better. Well, 5 years later, nothing has changed. If anything, it's gotten worse. A lot of people believe that accountability in the form of having people who are killer cops be put in jail, that's going to solve it. According to this guy who wrote this book, and he is a leading expert in the field, no. That is an indication that people think, oh, it's just one bad apple. That's the one bad apple thing. No, it's the entire batch. It's the whole damn orchard. And defunding, according to this guy, is the only way. He says the legal system is actually designed, which we all know, to protect police. It's designed to protect police. It was purposefully created this way. And tossing out a few people like bad apples does nothing. It's a culture. It's a system. They don't call it systemic racism for nothing. It is a system. If you are participating in the system as a police, then you are not good. And police brutality seems to be sanctioned in America, don't you? Absolutely. It's sanctioned, expected. It's what our police do. I've been reading more than I ever have, and yes, and seeing more too. Ask any person who's had a police presence where they live, a person who's Black, brown, Indigenous, or a person of color, and they will probably be able to tell you all about this. But on such a large scale with these protests, I counted 34 absolutely violent things in 48 hours, and there were way more than that. Those are just what I counted. I can only count to 34, sorry. But actually, and each one of them had hundreds of people watching. These people have no freaking shame. They know that they are above the law. And they have their great grand poobah leader, who is the modern day leader of the Ku Klux Klan, in the office, cheering them on. So the whole bad apple thing, he claims, is not the way it's going to go. Secondly, when police are prosecuted, the system tosses them out and says they're a bad apple, and that reinforces that the system's fine. It's just a couple people. It's not. It's the system. It's the way the system has always been. So this guy is adamant. He does not mince words in his book, and he seems to be the main guy people go to. Cities and states have done this, taking out of the bad apples, and they don't see improvement. It's not just one person. It's the entire system. It's rigged literally for getting away with murder, as we all have seen. Vitaly believes that there's a growing popular awareness, and he seemed thrilled in the interview I saw, that police are what our society uses in lieu of decent social programs. I'll say that one more time. This author, who's a sociologist, well-known, written a book, people follow him, believes that the actual masses are starting to catch on and become aware that police in our society are used in lieu of a decent social program, because we can make money using the police. We can put them into prison, like Nails and Glitter said. It's a whole pipeline. 13th Amendment does not cover no slavery for jailed people. So let me see. We never knew about autonomous cities before. We must look that up and put it in our channels. Yes. I feel terrible, but I did not know about this autonomous free zones. And you know what? They seem like a pretty damn good idea to me when I compare what we have, which is a police state. These police are getting away with horrific things. I mean, we're hearing, God, probably 1%. I mean, I've read so many things that aren't in videos and aren't in articles, just things here and there people are sending me. Very hard to ascertain the validity of them. And so I can't post them because I like people to actually think that I'm going to post things that aren't fake. So, I mean, I've gotten at least 10 different things just this week and last that I'm like, damn, but I can't confirm it. If I can't confirm it, I can't put it up. So it's so frustrating. But yeah, this whole autonomous zones is crazy. America is splitting up again. No more. Yeah. We're done. I hate to say it. Gary, that's okay. You're right on time. You're perfect. Thanks for being here. You're just right in the thick of it. We're talking about, oh goodness, police and defunding versus reforming, and why defunding, according to experts, is the way to go. There's a difference between American systems and the American people. The system of racism sanctions brutality, right? And it's kind of interesting. There is a difference, just like you pointed out last time, and I would often point out, the people of China get this. They get your government is separate because their government doesn't follow the needs of the people. They follow what they want to do. And a lot of times it is good for the people, but they don't have to. Our government is interesting. More and more and more, at least it seems to me, separating. Because how do we know this? Simply because the polls and things of that nature overwhelmingly want certain things, like affordable health care for all, like common sense gun laws, like stopping police brutality. Yet we're not even close to getting any of them. It's because we're not running our nation. And if we ever were, we're not. Even the white people aren't running it. It's the wealthiest elites that are running it. We don't have a democratic republic right now. And with Trump, I truly believe another minute. But yeah, it's not good. You don't need me to tell you. But yeah, great point. Yeah. At this point, Nielsen Blair, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that I think there are a lot of people, you should see the stuff I've been getting. Oh my God. People are sending me Republican stuff. It's all total bullshit. It's like, it's unbelievable. It's all spin, 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 lies, lies, lies. It's just crazy. But according to this man, Professor Vitale, accountability in the form of stuffing a police in a jail cell, it doesn't work. And what he says is it doesn't work because there's been statistics done on it. Stuff 3 or 4 of them that are bad cops. No, it's the system. It's not one. If you are not doing it yourself, you're watching someone else doing it, not turning it in. It's like a giant gang. So he says the legal system is actually designed to protect the police, and that people are starting to catch on and become aware that police are what our society has chosen to use. Brute force and inhumane, cold inhumanity, instead of just making some social programs. We are not here for the people in this country. We are here for the wealthiest elite. They can spin it as far enough for the Republicans, for the Republicans. It's unbelievable. A new rebellion is in America again. Are you starting to read about those autonomous zones? It's amazing. I hope every freaking city gets one. I'm looking into it. It seems like kind of like a hippie thing to do, but you know what? Maybe it is, but what I saw, I liked. Everybody lives there. They have people who provide what people need. If you're a doctor, you help be a doctor. It's kind of communal in nature, and it's only been open a little bit. I was looking at the one in Washington, but it's peaceful. And a couple thousand people sat and watched a movie on systemic racism out in the middle of Seattle in this autonomous zone. Quietly, 1,000 people sat and watched it on the giant screen. It's basically the people govern themselves. And I'm not going to tell you any more than that because I really am just learning about it. I know a couple of experts that I will be getting some information from, and hopefully I think it really pertains to us. A lot of folks, when on the right, were saying, oh, Antifa started it. No, they didn't. Anti-fascism is part of their kind of, it's kind of I guess there's a lot of names for it, but they are very against fascism. If you can't give a very meaningful reason for doing something and having authority over someone, then the community is supposed to call you out. It's an interesting process. All I know is it sure beats police coming and beating up nonviolent protesters. It's just crazy. So we'll have to send me stuff on if you get it. I'll put some stuff up too. It's an interesting concept. One's been going for like 5 days in Seattle and in Minneapolis. I'm not longer than that. And I think there's going to be one underway in New York City, if I can guess, and probably San Francisco. People are starting to say, we're not waiting for the election. We're done. So interesting. Gary, my friends that like Trump are doubling down on excusing him and protecting cops with lame excuses. Yeah, that's psychologically and sociologically, that makes sense. That is what people do. Unfortunately, it's like burying your head in the sand. I don't get why people do that. They want to be right so badly that, yeah, I guess. I don't know. No answers, but thanks for telling. Yeah, I can't even handle the people I know who are Republicans. Um, I can't even handle it. I don't know how you guys feel. I'm very lucky to not have to be around people like that because I can't take it. I'll agree to disagree with almost anything, but not when it comes to my fellow humans' civil and human rights over my dead body. No, I don't agree to disagree. I can't. I won't. That's just, it's a line I've drawn for myself. And yes, it's a very privileged thing to say. And I'm absolutely aware of that. And I'm very lucky I can do that. I don't want to be around people like that. I don't. I don't want my children near them. I don't want to be near them. Inhumanity is not good. It's not good. Yeah. So I have a very strong feeling about that, as you probably could have guessed. And I guess part of that might be because I'm lucky enough to be able to do that. Not everyone can do that. But I want nothing, and I'm talking about family too. I'm sorry. I want nothing to do with people who would turn against my fellow humans because of their skin tone, because of their religion. It's sick. It's just sick because they don't make enough money for them. You guys know I follow Dr. Paul Farmer, says that the idea that some groups are less important than others is the root of all the problems in the world. And I absolutely believe that. We talk about the sanctity of life. We don't have that in America, not the white folks. Nope. Even some of the middle-class white folks don't, because they're working against their own best interest, because they're falling for the lie. The lie that says, if you just work hard enough and look down upon the black and brown people, maybe someday you'll be rich too. They're the ones doing it all. No, it's a lie. We've been conned and made the fools. Generation after generation. White people have enjoyed just enough privilege to make sure we never unite with our brothers and sisters who are black, brown, African American, indigenous, and unite and say, we want to make this government for the people. You know, the by the, for the, the whole people thing. It's never going to happen because of the ignorance of white people. Sorry to say. I'm on a rampage. Nails and glitter. I know one that's moving towards being a progressive. I know two Republicans that have lame excuses and hang up ASAP. Yeah. It's got to be my privilege. I can't handle somebody who'd be like that. I'm trying to think if I ever could. I don't know. I'm just a snob. I actually like my people with a side order of humanity. I know you do too, but it's just really sad to me, and it's kind of scary, I guess. But you're a better woman than I am at Nails and Glitter. All right. So Vital believes that when you see people holding up a sign that says defund the police, okay, which I'm sure many of us have seen, what they're saying is that we're not going to fix police, but instead we're going to reduce the amount as much as humanly possible and replace them with democratic, public, social services and non-police solutions. So they are not saying, when they say defund, they don't mean eradicate. They really mean defund. Take a big chunk of the money that's used to pay brutes to go around and be rotten to people who need help. And instead of that, take that money and actually make viable social programs to help the people, not arrest them and take them into jail and make them live in a prison cell, a cage, because we're too freaking cheap to give a crap and actually get them help. Mental illness can be worked with. I don't know if I know a lot about mental illness, and it's workable. You need a lot of resources. But if you have mental illness, you can absolutely do okay and normally, function pretty normally with some support. But instead, they throw us in prison and in jails. How convenient. I'm sure they come out much better. It's the sickest thing in the world. Homeless people, it's a crime to be homeless. Hell, it's a crime to be impoverished. You have to pay bail, forget it. You know how many people are in jail right now? Haven't even been tried yet. They're literally serving terms in jail, like as if they're in prison, because they haven't had a trial yet. A lot of them are probably innocent, yet they lose their jobs, they lose their homes, they lose their family, they lose their kids, they lose their self-esteem, they lose their mental health. Hell, they probably lose their physical health now with COVID, and they don't give a shit. We have a demonic system. And the system of supposed justice has got to be at the top for being the worst. It does. So this guy wrote about it, and I am very interested in his book, which I might want to get. It made sense to me. So the idea is to take a huge amount of money that we put into police and publicly finance alternatives. How about this? People who are, addicted to drugs, get them some goddamn help, some counseling, some, those rich and famous people always seem to get help with their drugs when they get addicted. Why can't everybody? There's no reason. It's because we punish people who aren't rich. We have double, triple, quadruple standards. People who have addictions need doctors and counselors and help and love and care. They cannot handle life. Okay? Life's very hard to handle. They do not need to be treated like a piece of shit, thrown in a cage, not allowed to see their people who love them. It just makes me so sick. The system, Demetrius, welcome. The system is working the way white supremacy designed it to work. Exactly. Like when people say, well, the system's broken. No, the system's not broken. The system is absolutely not broken. It's working all too well. It's doing what it was meant. Thank you so much for bringing that point up. That is an awesome point. It's doing exactly what it was meant to do. And it's doing it pretty damn well, and it's disgusting. That's why dismantle. We got a lot of stuff going on, you guys, with the COVID. We have this police, brutality off the freaking hinges. We have a man in office who is a lying sack of shit. Gene, hello, Gene. Hello. Thanks for being here. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. We have basically a lying sack of shit in the office who every time he opens his mouth, he's lying. He's inhumane. Do I really have to list all these things? I don't think so. But he has circumvented the Constitution in such a way that I don't think we have checks and balances for the three branches of government anymore. I think that ship has sailed. And that's a scary one, because that is the number one. Say what you will about the founding fathers. The number one thing they were the most worried about is somebody taking away that balance. And we have met him. He's in office right now. Another thing he's done that nobody talks about is that he has been using psyops on American people. Nobody talks about it. I don't know why. That's huge to me. I don't know why it's legal. It's obnoxious. Cambridge Analytica did that for him, and that is why he won in 2016. That's why Brexit went through. They use psyops. I have a video on it. It's a boring video, but it's fascinating. If you don't know what psyops are, it's military-grade psychological weaponry. It really works. I mean, you know how people make guns and stuff? Well, I guess all the time people have been learning to make really cool guns. There's been social scientists and psychiatrists and psychologists who have been studying how to brainwash people, and it really works. They use it in war. And the video I made will explain exactly everything, and it is terrifying. The breach in data that came from Facebook's lovely Mark Zuckerberg, I believe personally, was absolutely on purpose. And yeah, they got a fine. They got fined, but when you're a bazillionaire, who cares, I guess. They took that data and they did data mining to it, and they got to all the people they needed to get to. Apparently, Cambridge Analytica, it's now called Data Propia. It's alive and well and working in the United States. It's a company, and you can hire them to use psyops using social media, and they will get to you, and you will start seeing ads and things that will slowly bring you around to believing what they want you to believe. They only work on people in purple states, and they only work on people who are deemed worthy of persuasion. So if you're wishy-washy at all, you're their guy. So yeah, check out my video on PSYOPs. I learned about this a while back, and I have been fascinated with it ever since. It's a weapon that is worth its weight in metal guns, I suppose you could say. Global entertainment. Well, hell, the Amish have been living autonomously without the government for decades. They know how to do it just fine. This is a good point. Very good point. There might be something to it, because I know people who live off the grid. I've just never seen it done in the middle of cities, because usually what you have to do is you have to be able to be completely self-sustaining. Like you have to have crops. And so in the middle of cities, like not really fantastic place for it, but you never know, because things can be changed. There are community gardens. There's a lot going on, especially if it's a place where it has good weather all the time. But I'm going to be looking into that. I want to do a video on it, and I'm going to have to research my butt off, because I definitely don't know enough about it to even be talking about it. So don't quote me. And of course, the people on the right, like they've done already with the police thing, will take everything and they'll say it's Black Lives Matter and Antifa. They're really terrorists. It's like, oh my God, shut up already. Nobody needs this like hate and this inhumane baloney lies, but it works on a lot of people. Just ask Trump. Ask Data Propia how they're doing. He hired them for the 2020 election, you know. He's still using it. No one's stopped him. I have no clue why. I'm just one of the little people. I don't know anything. But he's still using PSYOPs on people. And it's kind of funny. Do you know anyone who's really gullible? They're probably having it used on them. I mean, half the things on Facebook right now, when I look, are completely fake. Like I get sent fake news from Facebook all the time. I look it up. Oh, no, that's fake. That's fake. That's fake. It's like so ridiculous. Gene, have you heard about the transformation to the police department in Camden, New Jersey? Yes. I don't know if to speak about it, but I read an article on it, but it was it's been a long day. But if you want to jump in and write up about it, I will read whatever you have to say. There are pilot programs that are going on. And you know what? Here's the thing. There have always been pilot programs, and I'm not talking about yours, but in general, there have always been pilot programs, best practices. We don't care. When I say we, I'm talking about the collective white people who hire, I guess you could say, who vote for the other collective white people who are politicians who are looking out for the wealthiest elite white folks' best interest. We have things that work. We have police places where high crime is crazy, and the police have the lowest rate of brutality, the lowest rate of murders. We have that, and they're model programs. We just don't want to use them. The police were meant to be slave catchers, and that's really what they are. I'm sorry, that's just the truth. So, but yeah, I would love, if you have anything to information to give on that, I would love to talk about it. I just don't know enough to talk about it because there's so much going on, but I appreciate the input. And anytime, just throw in an article. If you can't talk about it, just throw it in. We'll read it later. So when poor people are so poor that they turn to crime to simply survive, we have the state police come in and make sure they go to prison. Instead of making social programs so people want to work, this laziness bullshit, it's a lie. It's just a lie. People very rarely just want to sit home. I mean, if you've ever gotten welfare, it is really not enough to live on. You're sitting there eating lobster. Yeah, right. Give me a break. It's just propaganda. I mean, not good. This idea has been building according to this professor, over the past 5 years, because the longer people have stayed engaged with the problems of policing and criminalization of everything, the more they learned firsthand how pointless reforms are. So this sociologist is saying, screw reforms. We need defunding. take that money that we're giving to people who are basically gang members, who have immunity to kill people and hurt people. And think about all the people they've killed. Now think about all the people they've maimed. I saw a special on people who didn't get killed. They didn't die after the police shot them, and what their life is like now. And there are way more of those. So that's something to think about. Not that you want to think about it, but there's a gross misunderstanding, according to this professor, that the rule of laws sets us all free. He says that's a misunderstanding, that generally police keep those who do not have much in their place so they do not cause harm for those who are well off. And he's been studying this for years. Vitale believes that the policing was never meant to produce any equality. Never. He believes that policing is never meant to produce equality. It exists to, and this is his words, I quote, to suppress our movement and allow for the less well-off to continue to be exploited. And if that doesn't show up with all these protests, I don't know what does. Unbelievable. So I kind of tend to agree with the guy. Aren't I nice? I haven't studied for like 10,000 years. I haven't studied police brutality like he has, but he's really into that opinion. And when I read it, it just rang so true. He's right. This isn't by accident. So the next thing I want to talk about for a few minutes is body cameras. And it's been deemed, this is a different expert. This is Harvard University. I told you tonight was going to be about what experts have to say about dismantling police in America. Defunding, yes. Dismantling, yes. Not reform. This is what the experts saying. I'm not saying these. I tend to agree with these, but I'm not saying these. I literally looked up articles on every single thing and cross-referenced. This is the opinion of the people who know about these topics. That's why people are saying defund, defund. There's not just random people. This is a researched thing. People who, this Vitale guy wrote a whole book on it, and he's been the go-to guy to say it must be defunded. Reform is a joke. If you were here earlier, we talked about how people became settled and, okay, they're going to try things. They're going to try reform. They're going to have cameras on their bodies. They're going to have training. They'll have training for implicit bias. Didn't do a damn thing. Nothing. It's a system. It's not really individual. If you do something wrong in your police, you're a bad guy. If you watch someone else do something wrong and allow it to happen, you're a bad guy. That pretty much wraps it up. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. So there's a study for a Harvard University study. Let me see where I'm sorry. So many of the police started using body cams. And we're thinking it makes sense. It intuitively, it seems like it would work, right? Like accountability, you can see everything they do. And to a certain extent, it has provided proof, like all the videos, proof so that, when police lie and plant evidence. Oh my God, did you guys see the one where the guy planted evidence and then it's on my channel, the next week, he did it again. It's crazy. I was just like, it's like wanted to scream. He planted evidence, was caught on camera, planting evidence to get a man into prison. And then the next week, they didn't do anything to punish him. It's on my channel. I'm going crazy, but he did it again. I mean, anyway, it's not a wonder that police get away with all these things because they know they have total impunity. It's crazy. So this Harvard study tracked the Metropolitan Police in Washington, D.C. over a 7-month period. And this was an actual study, the kind with all the numbers and a real study. This was done by social scientists at Harvard. And what they found was that over a 7-month period, they included 2,224 police officers. The conclusion was that cameras did not meaningfully affect police behavior on complaints, on use of force. And it was really sad because it was really a definitive study. And it kind of makes sense. Sometimes what we do is, if you're a social scientist, you take the study and you take that information, but you also compare it to the real world. And what do you guys think? It seems like a match to me. It really does. It seems like a match. It doesn't seem to stop them. We've all seen these videos from just this week while they're at the anti-police brutality protests, watching police brutalize people in front of hundreds, maybe thousands of people. I mean, purposefully, knowingly doing a rotten thing. I saw somebody grab someone's face, lift their head up, and spray them right in the eyes and the face with the poison spray that makes you, I mean, like, not spray them, just like, I'm talking, walked up to them. They were hiding, just trying to get away so that they didn't get in their eyes and face. Police grabbed them by the head, lifted their head back. And I mean, these people are sick fucks, people. I'm just saying, I don't like to use that word, too freely, but I'm just saying. I saw that multiple times. I saw people begging for it. I'm sure you guys have too. So, cameras are not looking great. I personally think they should still have them just because, you can prove things, but this study was fairly definitive. Next, let's talk about the militarization. Does it make police increasingly more violent? Let me think. Okay, I'm done thinking. A Sage Journal of Research, which is this research company or, I guess, organization, did a study, social science research, on whether the militarization, stop saying that word, of police increases violence among police. Well, what do you think? I'm sorry, but give me the money instead of do a study. I'll tell you, yes. Obviously, the result was yes. They did social science research on whether or not this would occur, and the study is kind of interesting. And I hate to talk about dogs, but dogs were in the study too. They wanted to have a bunch of ways to have a constant in a study, so they used dogs that people kill. Police kill dogs, I guess, a lot. What they did was, the study followed the responses from any precinct that was given armor vehicles, camouflage, like bullet. Oops, I gotta scooch this over. Bullet. Hang on a second. Oh, bulletproof vests. Sorry, I figured it was. And gas masks, and brandishing these shotguns and M4 rifles. So they had a criteria for. Yeah, thank you, Jean. Yes, I know. I feel so smart. It's like, I'm gonna say yes. Rambo. I think they're Rambo or whoever that is. I don't really think I saw that movie, but I know it's some guy who kind of goes nuts with a gun. Maybe, I don't know. Don't listen to me. I don't follow pop culture, and it comes back to bite me every time. The object of the research was to determine, don't laugh, whether and to what extent military equipment transfers from the military to law enforcement increases the propensity of law enforcement to do undue and unnecessary harm. Yes. The research used the previous year's, changes from the previous year in getting the military equipment, because they didn't have it previously, how many civilians were killed and how many dogs were killed by police. And the obvious conclusion is what Jean said. Yes, 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 and yes. What good are body cams when so many still don't care for the proof that's recorded? Absolutely. Mr. F.S. Black, great point. First of all, they don't care. And secondly, the things mysteriously turn off all the time. I've never seen such insanity in my life. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's called click. I'm going to do something really bad and I don't want it on camera. When people still, with proof, they still get away with it. It's unstinking believable. But the problem is police are immune to, if we did these things, when you watch a police officer do something that's horrific and they get away with it, all you have to do is think, if I did that, would I? Not a chance in hell. they are living above the law. I mean, really above the law. All they have to do is say, I fear for my life, and have it deemed reasonable to fear for your life. Well, what does that mean? What kind of standard is that? That's no standard. That's why 1% actually get in trouble. It's a free-for-all. It really is. Like, I need to tell you that. Jesus. Okay. So, let me see here. The research used was, yes, got that. Let me go on. The obvious conclusion to the research was that together with work that showed militarization, they're making me say that word again, actually leads to more violence against for police. The present study suggests that demilitarization may secure overall community keep us safer than all this crap given to these people. And I saw a long time ago, I don't even remember what it was, police being trained that we're at war. You know, the war on drugs, the war on this, the war on that. It's a war mentality, and it's absolutely purposeful. And it's such a war, we're going to give them military outfits and guns and paraphernalia and everything they need so that they really can be in a war. They're playing war against the people who pay their goddamn taxes, and it makes me sick. That's disgusting. Global Entertainment TV. The government is using old Jedi mind tricks, but seriously, the government and ad executives do subliminal messages on television back in the 50s and 60s. Yes, absolutely. And now it's just a little more sophisticated because we have social media, and social media will sell you out. You think your stuff's private? I don't think so. What had happened with Cambridge Analytica, you got me started again. What happened with Cambridge Analytica is they got hold of information from an app that was attached to Facebook, and then they started mining people's data. And at the time, they boasted 3,000 data points on every single person in America, which I believe. I mean, some people must not be on social media, so that's got to be an exaggeration. But supposedly, I read a study, 40% of all Americans get their news from Facebook and other social media. That's terrifying. That's just terrifying to me because they're lies. Gene, I used to handle claims for Las Vegas Metro Police. The corruption runs so deep, it's union driven. Oh my God, guess what the next topic is? Oh my gosh, I wish you were here. I wish you were here because you should be on this. You really should. Because you have so much expertise in these areas that it just, oh my gosh. Okay, check this out. The next topic, police union contracts blocking accountability. So all these things, another expert, we got another separate expert from the Harvard people, from the New York City professor. This person, the following information is from checkthepolice.org. I don't know if you guys follow that. I follow it sometimes. And it tells about how police union contracts block accountability. And jump in anytime you want to, Gene. And hopefully maybe you'll come on here sometime. Number 1 for blocking accountability. There are certain misconduct complaints that are disqualified for police if they are too many days after the incident or if the investigation takes too long to complete. Well, that's convenient. Cases be dropped. Now, think about you as a layperson. Would anybody drop a case because it was taking an extra day or two a week? No. If you did something, hell no. So this is a lot. Number 2, preventing police officers from being interrogated immediately after being involved in an incident or otherwise restricting how, when, and where they can be interrogated. Now, I don't know the details on that, but there's some funny business, to put it nicely, going on with that. When you hear the rest of these, you'll kind of get it. Number 3, giving officers access to information that civilians do not have prior to being interrogated. This is not good. Requiring cities to pay the related costs of police misconduct, including giving officers paid leave while under investigation, paying their legal fees, and the cost of just settling. Now, on top of this, I don't know if the unions have a lot to do with this, but unlike many professions, if you murder somebody and you get away with it, and maybe you leave, you can go somewhere else. It's like letting a murderous doctor who murdered people on purpose just go to another one town over. Who cares, you know? I mean, this is some gang. This is not just like your local gang. This is your huge, that's just your like local chapter with affiliates all over the country, you know? And it all does seem to be, I'm sure there are some good police forces, but boy, it's not good. It's a system. The bad apple thing just has not proven itself in social science. It's the whole orchard. Dismantling, according to the experts, is the only way. And it kind of seems that way. Let me see here. It goes, kill it. The Ku Klux Klan cops killed a woman with asthma by macing her. Yes, I saw that. That was horrible. That was awful. Just terrible. They're using poisons. And I mean, that's, I don't even get into that they're using poisons and then lying and saying, they're not really tear gas. They're just gas that makes you tear. It's like, shut up. I'm so tired of the lies. I really am. It's awful. It's hard enough to find out what's real to begin with. But when you spin something so poorly that it's like, exactly how stinking dumb do you think I am? You know, they must think we're pretty dumb because they're not even trying anymore. The spins are ridiculous. We have Trump saying that the elderly man who got knocked over to the point where there was blood coming out from his brain through his ear, was an Antifa. It's just the lies. This is what we get for allowing a man who is inhumane, misogynistic, racist as you know what, bigoted, and just an inhumane, hateful, narcissistic, I had to say them all, person into the highest office in our nation. What did we think he was going to do? He only promised to take away the civil and human rights of every single person in any and all numerical minority groups in America. He promised that. That's what he ran on. But nope, white folks, they said, oh, you know, we'll get there somehow. He's on our team. No, we're not in it either. He is for the wealthiest elites. He could give a shit about the average white American too. But we are such fools. We all bought into it. So sad. So sad. Kind of what we deserve, I suppose. It's the right winger out here boot licking the cops. Does that mean, oh, Norm, hello, welcome. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm really happy. I think it's kind of funny. I was thinking tonight is like one of the worst ones I've ever done for some reason, but you made my day. Thank you. Jump right in anytime to say whatever you have to say. I hate to be so definitive about police because I'm sure you, proverbial you, know a police who's a nice person. Unfortunately, you can be a nice person and to people you know and belong to a corrupt institution. And if you belong to a corrupt institution and you're not doing the crime, but you're watching that crime happen and not turning them in, as far as I'm concerned, you might as well have done it yourself. That's not moral. I'm not talking religion. I'm talking act human. It's not fair that police can pick and choose who's deemed, who should be murdered and who shouldn't. That's not justice. That's racism and bigotry, and that's sick shit. They're feeling bad that day. They want to go hit somebody. I mean, we are so beyond what is humane. We're not even close. It's unbelievable. Did you guys, anybody see those police get on a knee to lure people in so they could shoot them right in the face? I don't know if I put that one up, but anyway, this is some crazy stuff, guys. Gary, shared tonight's live chat on Liker, customized to Black Lives Matter feed. Tell me about that. I'm not sure what you mean, but tell me. Tell me what you mean. Maybe like after, because I am not worthy. I am so bad with social media. Like I was saying, I'm on Twitter, no clue how to use it. I'm on Instagram, no clue. I'm getting people writing me. I'm getting porn. I'm getting everything. I'm like, where am I? I'm getting women porn. Well, no men porn. I'm just saying. I'm getting, yeah. Not that okay, I'll just shut up. But I'm just saying, I'm getting lots of beautiful naked women, and I have no clue what I'm doing. So teach me, Gary, please. Gus Kell, according to Candace Owen, racial police brutality is a myth. The hell with that stuff. Yeah. Okay. And here's another thing. Now that you brought that up, thank you. Silly, I admit I can be extremely naive, and it can be kind of cute, but kind of gets old fast. I get this feeling. I'm used to it because I do make mistakes because I don't follow pop culture. That's my problem. I do not follow pop culture. So it is so crazy. I didn't know who she was. And I saw this very vibrant, passionate, Black woman spilling her heart in a video that just happened to come my way. I don't know how. And I thought, oh my God, that woman is so disillusioned. Somebody's brainwashed her. That is awful. We have to help her. I didn't know it was a famous person. I'm such a nerd. I didn't know. I thought it was like a college kid who searched her soul and decided that she just had to speak her mind. I'm like, this poor child. She needs some help. Maybe the Black community could help her. Someone needs to help her. She seems like she hates herself. And lo and behold, it was Candace Owens. I didn't know. And I got about maybe 200 people telling me. And I have to say, bless every single last one of you. Everyone was so freaking nice to me. Not a single person said, what the actual, what to me. I'm glad you're laughing, Norm. Not one person who followed me. I got about 200 plus comments. And I actually wrote back to every single solitary person and apologized. Auntie Tom, Uncle Joy. It's so me too. It was my white privilege, my arrogance. It was a whole combination of things. I looked, I'm like, somebody needs to help her. Because I figured maybe she got adopted by white parents who didn't teach her worth, or maybe they didn't oh, Lord. I don't know. No, thanks for asking. I'm on angry_soccer mom. That's it. And that's all I know. You want in on the porn, don't you? Okay. I don't dole out. I'm just teasing. I don't dole out the porn. I seem to be getting it a lot. I'm just playing, but yeah, so stupid, silly me. I apologize to every person who wrote to me. It was kind of a form letter, and I changed it for a few people that I knew really well. I was mortified. Because it's I didn't know. I thought she was a college kid. Gary, another social media site, very easy to customize each post to reach a chosen targeted group. Won't let you post until you select and lets you become a contributor to a select topic. Oh my gosh. That sounds really good. That sounds really, really good. Tell me more. Send me things. I need another social media outlet that I won't know how to use. It's I make fun of people who are like this, and I am that person. So, okay, yeah. Okay, Ghost Kelly. Candace Owens actually used to be a loyal Democrat. Really? She seems really, really, really disillusioned. Yeah, that's why I believe she's doing it for the money. Gene, a lot of people have said that to me. She's doing it for the money, but I didn't hear that part. I just heard she's doing it for the money. So I was like, is she really, really impoverished? Maybe it's not my place to say if she's doing it for the money. I mean, I don't think that's particularly moral, but it's not my place as a white person to judge somebody. Maybe she's really impoverished. And then people are like, no, she's not. I'm like, okay, that theory went out. Norm, she even faces racist issues herself in high school, which led to a lawsuit. That's what everybody was telling me. They're like, she was even in a lawsuit. So this is total BS. Oh, little Miss Candace she doesn't believe in. If you have eyes and a normal IQ and you don't believe in systemic racism in America, I'm sorry. You're delusional. I'm sorry. I'm not calling her particularly delusional. I don't know her, but seriously, I mean, that's horrible. Like she's sold out, or I don't get it. Very, very awful. Very, very, very awful things. And you know, I can be really sanctimonious. I know I can be. And yeah, I do judge people who are out to purposely harm my fellow humans. I do. I admit it. I'm judgmental. Like when Trump developed his entire campaign for 2016 on the idea to purposefully further oppress numerical minority groups in America and boasted it all over the place, I was appalled. Like physically, mentally, like I was like, we have a man running for president who boasts he's going to do evil, sick, screwed up things to our fellow humans. And this is actually a real thing. And I got to tell you a story really fast. I know I'm blabbing a lot. I went up to my husband the day I saw this. It was one of his first podium speeches where he wasn't the he didn't win the Republican side yet. And there were Republicans all up there. It was a whole full stage. And Trump said something so vile. And I waited. And I waited. And not a single one of those sellout piece of you-know-whats said, excuse me, how dare you say that about my fellow humans? How dare you? They're all scared of him. Every last damn one of them. Scared of him, didn't say a word. And I turned to my husband, and I don't like to be right on things like this. I said, we're doomed. Well, actually, I said the F word. We're fucked. Okay. I go, he's going to win. And my husband laughed at me and said, oh, he's a joke. He's a joke. And I looked at him again and I said, we're doomed. He's going to win. And it was just like, oh my God. Because those guys were afraid of him. And I could tell it's like, I don't want to be right. I like to be right secretly, but no, not for stuff like that. Okay. That was like panic. But anyway, I wanted to make a really, really quick thank you. And I'm not going to get emotional about this, but when I made that mistake and thought Candace Owen, this woman who, this poor child, I was like, she needs help. Maybe I have to tell everybody, I have to post her stuff and, somebody needs to help her. And I got over 200, probably 250. I got to look now. People, that's right. I got rid of it. That's right. I took it off. Explaining to me, I'm talking 250 people not on my YouTube channel, some people on my YouTube channel were awesome, absolutely great with me. But I'm talking on my Facebook page, a page of Angry Soccer Mom group page I have. I got like 200 plus comments. Every single one of them was so stinking nice. And I know this sounds really weird, but I've never met nicer people with bigger hearts than the people on my YouTube, minus the ones that tell me I'm a race traitor, that they don't count. And on my Facebook page, I've never met nicer people. These people had every reason to be like, oh my God, that, she's a fake. She's putting that lady up. Not one did. They all knew I'm just a dork. I didn't know. Every last one of them was nice. I feel so incredibly thankful that I can make a mistake and people taught me. Not one person chastised me, not one. And I probably deserved it because I jumped to conclusions. I thought she was like, oh, anyway, I'm an idiot. I'm living in some fantasy world, but hey. So I can't thank people enough for giving me that. And I'd like to say like I've earned it because I show with my behavior, but you know what? I'm a white person. We'll never fully earn it. Historically, it's just not going to be happening. And I'm aware of that. And so I feel incredibly lucky. And actually, I put this in my last video, which hasn't done anything. It's for total beginners. If they go to I just put it up. It's gotten like probably 10 people have looked at it. It's a thing for beginners who want to do more than just be, I'm at a rally, which, and I'm not saying that's bad, but like, okay, now they get it. Police brutality is real. They figured that out. Where do we go from here? Let's move on. Let's continue. Don't just go to a rally and go home. Educate yourself so you can educate other white folks. And so I set this video kind of like a, what do I do next step video? And it really hasn't done well. I worked really hard on it, but some of my videos that I maybe didn't work quite as hard on it, that did way better. So I'm like, because I want to get the white folks to get on board, like commit, not just, and please don't take this the wrong way. Going to a rally and standing in front of police and standing up for what's right is freaking awesome. Some people went to a rally and just kind of went to go. But you know what? It's better than not. It's better than not. Okay, let me just take some comments here. I'm sorry. I'm blabbing on so long. Let me see. I'm backing it up a little bit. Oh, Xavier, thank you. Oh, I'm still backing it up. I'll get to yours. She even, oh, okay, got it. Nails and glitter. Her racist experience came from a Democrat's son. Interesting. Nails and glitter. You and I must chat, because nails and glitter, we have conversations a lot about, like, it used to be Democrats are the, oh, they're the good one. No, apparently there is no good ones, but yeah, damn. Fake liberal. I could talk to fake liberals. Don't get me started. Let me see here. Nails and glitter. You know I get triggered for that. Ugh, I believe it. Lord, keep up your efforts. Good show. I'll connect with you on your other formats. Thank you so much. I would love that. Yay. Thank you. Xavier. Candace Owens is a troll. She doesn't even believe that stuff herself. I hope she doesn't. But she's so convincing. She should be like an actress or something. Because if she doesn't believe that herself, she's good. Like I was like, my God, this child. I thought she was like, a college kid, like 20. I was like, I think she actually believes this. Who has brainwashed this child? My God, this is horrible. I'm like, it's not like I want to save everybody. It's just like, I don't look at her as a Black person. I look at her as like a child who needs help, like a college kid or something. Then I come to realize she's just like horrible lady. So I'm like, but yeah, I had 250 people tell me exactly who this lady was. But thank you. I've heard a lot about her. Now I know a ton about her. Gus Keller, she doesn't care about Black people. How I know? Because she denies the Southern strategy. Conservatives use it to be Democrats. She denies? What? That's what KKK people do. They're not smart enough to realize that the parties switched platforms. That's just weird. I mean, okay, I'll just be honest. And I usually try to stay in my lane. Okay. I don't like to tell people who are Black what to do. That's not right. I have no place. That's arrogant and it's obnoxious. And I'm not telling her what to do, but I am telling how shall I say it? My first response was, oh my God, she sounds like a KKK person. Because remember, I had never heard anybody talk like that before. So I was like, oh my God, she sounded to me like if I had blanked her out, she sounded like a KKK person. The way she was talking, it was crazy. So yeah, I believe it. So she denies that? That's history. You're not allowed to. I didn't know you could do that. No, I guess we've done it. Wow, called whitewashing. But yeah. Norm, can you imagine another 4 years of Trump? America is doomed. Norm, no, I can't. I can't imagine another minute. TikTok. No, I think I keep saying this, but I hate to say it. I think we're at the end of our democratic republic. And if we ever really had a democratic republic to begin with, which we probably did, I think we're passing the oligarchy stage, going into late democracy, which we all know has two paths. One path is dictatorship, total regime dictatorship. Achoo, we're there. The other one is to put out social programs and start acting human. And I'm just not thinking that if he wins, I strongly urge everybody to get their passport before he closes the borders. Okay? And I'm not laughing. It's not funny. I'm dead serious. If you can afford your passport, get it. And I am not a professional. This is just from what I'm seeing, the escalation. This is some scary shit. If he wins or doesn't leave office, God help us all. Because no, I mean, yes, Storm, no, and yes, no, I cannot imagine another 4 years. And yes, we're doomed. Gary, sorry, I got off on a tangent there. Okay, Gary, check it out. Easy to use, easier than Facebook. Yay, I'm liking it. I can customize news feeds to what interests me at the time. Black Lives Matter, gardening, migrant rights, books, then only that topic comes up. Okay, I'm in. It sounds great to me. Sounds fantastic. Thank you so much for introducing me to that. You have to tell me like the name and like what to do. I am that old lady who knows nothing. Okay. Thanks, Gary. That sounds fantastic. Ghost Killer. Candace is trying to turn Black people to the conservatives. No, thank you. She's scary. She's one scary lady. I listened to the whole thing with like, I was like this, like, oh my God, who has gotten to this lady? Who has done this to her? You know? Like kind of motherly of me. I don't know. But now I'm like, I've been told by 200, 300 people. She knows what she's doing. She's no child. Gary, if you like a post, it immediately ask if you wanted to. If you like a post, it asks immediately if you want to follow the poster. Okay, cool. Thanks, Gary. I'm excited about this. I just don't want it to be another one that I don't get. Jean, my daughter and her friends went to a campaign rally in Vegas. She was assaulted and drug out over a sign. He was knocked down and they chanted, "Set him on fire." Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. That's terrible. Bring them my way. If they want to be anonymous, I'll share their story. That is terrible. There's been things like that. I've heard things, and a lot of them I can't. I think I told you earlier. I'm not sure if you were here. I got like 10 this week and 10 last week. Things that I can't confirm, so I can't put, but they're like jaw-dropping things. Like, are you kidding me? I just can't confirm them enough to, if I had a person who worked for me as like a, detective or something, I could, but I can't confirm them enough to be confident. And I don't want to be known as the person who spreads fake news. We have enough of that going on. But wow, that's terrifying. That's damn. Did you guys see the people? Like, did you guys see the people who, it was Black Lives Matter type march with very, very peaceful people, a mixed crowd, white people, Black people, everybody. And it was apparently in some sort of neighborhood, and they all took, about 20 of the people took guns, giant rifles and guns, and stood and just like this with their weapons, trying to intimidate them. It's like, it was just, people are, God, they're so unbelievable. But we should talk, Jean. That's really scary. I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of the people who write to me and get a hold of me personally, I end up turning away. And it's not because I don't want to tell their story, because I want to tell their story. But what it is this. If their story has legal stuff involved, I don't want to out their story because it might be against their best interest. So like some of the people call me were working for the Innocence Project. Well, I said, well, I'm not going to ruin someone's life that already had their life ruined, So I get some of these incredible stories, and I can't put them because I can't do that to somebody. I say, first, ask your attorney, because I know that certain things are good to be kept quiet until court. So I've had to turn away some incredible, and also some people are too afraid. I've had two different people, a person who was a really, really wonderful, wonderful man. I ended up talking to him for hours. This was like 2 years ago. Or maybe 1 year ago. I can't keep track of time. He was in the military, and I think he came over when he was like 3 from Iran or something, or I don't know. He was of the Muslim faith, and he did great, and somebody tricked him. They pinpointed him as a person who would do whatever they said. So they had an informant go up to him, and you can read about him in the newspaper. I think I posted a few of his things. He called me and we talked for a long time, but ultimately was too afraid to do an interview. And I would never make somebody, it has to be about the person. It's like one thing. If I do an interview at any time, the person can bail, no questions asked. I'll throw it away, rip it up. I'll delete it or whatever. I would never. And whenever I do a video, I make sure that I have it in writing or a recording that I have permission to post it. Integrity is everything to me. This guy was set up by the FBI, the government, or whoever does that. I don't know. I think that's who it was. This was a while ago. And they set him up to buy a gun he never wanted to buy. And apparently the military have like a special site that they swap weapons, and it's legal. It's not illegal. It's legal. And they set him up. He came to buy one gun, and he tried to sell him something else. And that something else was a classic no-no and like kind of a setup for like, you must be working for the, and they just basically, they made him out to be some sort of terrorist, and he was so not a terrorist. And a year later, it was 2 years ago. And then it was a year later, he called me again, and he got his justice, and he won his court battle finally. But he was suffering from mental illness over this. His children, this is the worst thing ever. So, and then the other person, well, I won't get into it, but so I get some crazy things, and I'm dying to show you guys and tell you, but I can't. So anybody who needs to be heard, I just have to check it out. And if it's real, I'm in, because I am not going to be the kind of person who is quiet when there is horrible things happening to my fellow humans. Use this platform or any platform. Actually, I've gotten some people in touch with bigger and better, depending on what they want. But that's what I'm here for, to use my privilege to out people's stories. But I'm really careful, because one of the ladies wrote me, and she was a trafficking victim, a woman of color. She was a trafficking victim. And I truly believe she was. But when I checked her out, I didn't tell her this, but her story checked out, but her whole family was against her and said she was a liar. And she ultimately bailed and did not want an interview. She got scared. But I mean, it's so crazy. I need a detective. Is there any detectives that can be my helper? I need like someone who knows what they're doing. Let me just keep going here. Ghost Killer, good night. Thank you so much for being here. It is awfully late. God, I just never shut up. Okay, I better back it up here. Okay. Oh, where are you? I've seen Beau of the Fifth speak from that chair as well. This chair. You mean like proverbially, right? I know who that is. I've seen a couple of his videos. I think he's really good. This chair, or you're just saying speak like we are not relatives. I do not know him. No, I'm in. I wish I knew him. Actually, I would love to do an interview with him, but I don't think I could get to him because he's like kind of famous or something. But so put in a good word for me. I don't know who he is. I've seen a couple of his videos though. I know who you're talking about. Gene, I saw that. I have something from a Black activist from Oakland that laid out what white people can do. Too long to put on here. I'll put it on your Facebook. Okay, sounds fantastic. And I'll post it as much. If a lot of things, if they're not videos, I can't really put on YouTube. I can they have a weird, but I can't really get it circulated. But my Facebook page, absolutely. And my learners group. I am looking, while we're on the subject, I used to have 10 admins for my educational group for people who are new to learning about racism, bigotry, inequality, corruption, anything and everything, the LGBTQ community, anything. We have people on there teaching. We have people on there learning. We have people teaching and learning. It's just a whole big learning, teaching thing. And it's a very controlled group, or it used to be. But when Trump started laying it on really thick and being a crazy, insane person, it's kind of like all hell broke loose. And a lot of my admins just were overcooked. And I understand it. A lot of them were people in historic numerical minority groups, and they had it. I mean, they worked hard enough in my group, in the educational group, because they wanted to, because obviously nobody's beholden to. No, it's not the responsibility of the people being oppressed to teach the oppressor how to be human. But some people like teaching, so they were fantastic. But they all kind of left, except for maybe like one or two. So I'm still looking for admins. And this is going to sound crazy, but because it's a group that we have feminists, we have Quakers, we have Jewish people, we have Palestinians, we have people who are gay, people who are people who, you name it, we have it. I mean, you name it, we have it. We have Jewish people and Palestinians. I mean, we have people from Israel. It's so crazy. But so there are kind of a lot of rules, in the sense that, like, you can't call somebody like something that's misogynistic. I mean, just things like that, because it triggers people. We have people who are rape survivors. We have people who are homeless on there, people who are wealthy. It's just a crazy free-for-all. Muslim Americans, everything. So anyway, if you are interested, it's not, you guys know more than I do. It's not hard at all. I would love anyone who wants to just get a hold of me, and I'll tell you all about it. It's been an incredible experience watching people in these majority groups. Like, a person's never talked to a Muslim American in their entire life. Now they're best friends. A person doesn't know anyone who's gay, or at least they think they don't. But, and now they can talk about being gay without like thinking twice about it. They get it. It's like, people can learn. It's just, we're so secluded and kept. I mean, now with COVID, we're really secluded and kept away. People have the ability to learn. It's a long, steep curve, but okay. Let me keep going. Nails and Glitter. I follow Bo the Fifth. I know, that's awesome. I think he's really good. She's a word I can't write on here. Nails and Glitter. You'll have to turn yourself in. You'll have to, Mr. F.S. Black. When racist white people try to tell you that they have black friends, Candace Owens is that black friend. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my God, that is like so scary. It's like funny because it's so freaking scary. Yeah, this is what they say. I have black friends, but guess what they said? And I don't even think of them as black. What a slap in the face. Yeah. Actually, that is a common, like, it's a common cliche I actually did in a video. It's like, it's such an insult. It just speaks so directly to, that's, yep. They're not like the others. It's like, oh my God, you little psycho. I think I've heard it all. I bet you guys have heard it all. Let me see. Yeah, that's scary. Nails and Glitter. It's either dictatorship or socialism. Socialism isn't a dirty word. Yeah, unfortunately, I did a video on the difference between socialism and communism and democratic republic. I actually did a video because I was so pissed off that people were being fools and acting like socialism. It's like, you little dives. Oh, I was so mad. I'm like, you little dumb shit. We have socialism now everywhere. What do you think that library is? What do you think that hospital is? What do you think that road is? What exactly do you think your social security is? And it's like, but people just are brainwashed by propaganda. They don't get it. It's disgusting. And all those social programs benefit the people who vote against them. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God. We've been fooled into working for the wealthiest elites, and we do it happily for free. It's unbelievable. Don't even get me started about a living wage and the fact that so many companies don't pay a living wage, don't pay taxes, and are subsidized by the government. Guess who that subsidizing really is from? Us. corporate welfare. So I got issues, people. Okay. Absolutely. And I can't stand another minute of the dude. He's such a liar and such a mean-hearted, mean-spirited person. To be honest, she has no connection to the Black community. She's from the island somewhere. Yeah, I heard she was like Jamaican and not from African descendants. And yeah, I heard that too. I had 250 people write to me, so I heard a lot. I can tell you about that lady's life. Thank you, though. Wait, Ghost Kelly, you left. Wait, how did that work? You stayed. Okay. I thought you said goodbye. Mr. F. Black. Candace Owens is a prime example of why Black conservatives generally are not trusted amongst other Black people. I could see that. She's working against her own best interest and everybody else's. I'm not kidding you. I thought she was a Ku Klux Klan member. Like, things she was saying, I've heard a few interviews. I actually really want to interview a real live Ku Klux Klan member, but I've asked them and they don't, like, I guess they don't want to be interviewed. I would love to, if you know any. I hope you don't know any, but yeah, I thought she was like, she's saying all the things that the Ku Klux Klan members say. Then I caught on. Maybe she knows a little more than she's, she just seemed like a innocent little college girl. It's like, oh my God. Anastasia, hello. Oh my gosh, I didn't know you were here. Thank you so much. Let me just I got to back it up. Oh, I missed some people's things. Okay, Mr. F.S. Black. Got it. I'm in the right place. Gary, white women told me not all Black people agree with me. Many, like her husband, think we need to work with Trumpsters. She seems to think that I'm Black. Candace fan. Right, let me just read that again. So this is from Gary. White women told me not all Black people agree with me. Many, like her husband, think we need to work with Trumpsters. She seems to think that I'm Black. Candace fan. Explain, tell me more. Ghost Killer. Now, okay, I was to skip that. Now you're going to bed. Good night, and thank you for being there. I think I'm losing my mind. Gary, I'm not 100% sure what you're saying. I have really lack of sleep, so I'm going to use that as an excuse. Jean, just saw this. Live PD canceled 2 days after Javier Ambler's death in police custody became public. Good. First cops, now live PD. Tell me more. Tell me more. I'm like, I want to know. Norm. Angry, I love you still and I will always will. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you so much. You are incredibly sweet. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. You are so, if you're still here, people are like asleep. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Because I do get down not because of the bad things people write me, because I just don't post them usually, but just, it's hard watching my fellow humans be hurt, and it's just all so wrong. It's confusing, but thank you so much for your support. You are such a sweetheart, and I'm psyched that you're here and like talking. And let's see, and Anastasia. Okay, no, most of those so-called Black friends are pretty much co-workers. Do you mean like they say I have a Black friend because like it's just someone they work with and not really a close friend? Is that kind of what you meant? Maybe, I think you might have gone already. I might just have to guess. Anastasia, have you seen the video of the cops saying in Tulsa that they really should be shooting more Black people? I heard about it, but I didn't see it. I wasn't sure about the authenticity of it because I heard a video very similar to that, and it was recording. So I was like, dang. Anastasia, corporate welfare at its best. Jean, good night. I'm thrilled you were here. Please come on the show, and just, I'd love it if you could. Actually, I'd love it if everybody could. I mean, not all at once, but I mean, just get a hold of me and tell me what your like kind of passion is, and I want you to get your voice heard, and it's really important. I know a lot of people are kind of wary of that right now, and I absolutely get it. But if you're not, come on the show. I would love it. And we'll work it out ahead of time so you know exactly what we're doing. And if I could do it, anyone could do it. Okay. Yes. Anastasia, I read about that. Very interesting. Yep. Let me just back it up here. They canceled the show Cops. That's what I read about. I read about they canceled it. And what do you guys think? That they canceled it. I mean, good night, Jean. Thank you for being here. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm so distractible. I'm like a peacock. What? Okay. And thank you, Norm. And Nels and Glitter. They canceled the TV show Cops and Live PD. What do you guys think of that? I think it's about stinking time, but what do I think? Who cares? What do you think? Anastasia. And they canceled the show, the cop show, Live PD. And honestly, the purpose of those shows are to trick people into thinking there's no racism or corruption. Right. It's a smokescreen. It's just a joke. It's to make you, it's to indoctrinate us. TYT covered it. It was a podcast, so voice recording. Okay. Anastasia. It's real. He was on the Pat Campbell show in Oklahoma, and I went to the website. Damn. Sometimes to be honest, I get bombarded with stuff so much and I want to. People help me. They send me things, and some things I just literally don't have because I work full time. I don't have the time to research them and figure them out. And I have to be kind of careful because, like, if I mess up, I'm some ignorant white lady, which I get. So I don't want to mess up and send false information. It's really important. So sometimes I just can't get into stuff. But yeah, which I'm sure I have made mistakes before with the Candace lady. Oh my God. Thinking she was this poor innocent college child. Okay. Let me see. Anastasia. It was fake and just as real as Law and Order. And interesting. No, they need to bring back the show To Catch a Predator, one of my favorites. I don't think I know that show. Did you hear about Trump rally in Tulsa on Juneteenth? I did a show on Juneteenth, actually. Are you kidding me? There was a Trump. How inappropriate. Is that not extremely inappropriate? I'm sorry, that's obnoxious. That's really obnoxious. Well, the Dems are starting to use some of the tactics of the thanks, Anastasia. I know you do. It's just some things I get, I want to just, but I can't do it because I'm one bad post away from people not trusting me, and I don't blame them. Like I tell the people who are new learners, when you're a white person and you're talking about racism and you think, oh, the black people will just love you. No, they don't trust you from Adam. And we've earned that. And I said, all you can do is show by action, not talk about I'm an ally. That's like, shut up. You don't deem yourself an ally. That's ridiculous. You show who you are as a human being over time. And maybe you'll get some trust. And maybe not. And what I said in my video is that's kind of the way it goes. We haven't, as a collective, we haven't earned that. Not even close. In fact, not even close. Don't get me into it. But yeah. So I totally, like, I get it. I mean, sure, it hurts my feelings if someone doesn't trust me, but I'd be the same damn way. I know I would be, because I don't really trust a lot of white folks right now, because it's just like this secretive thing. It's like it's a dishonest way to live. That's all I'm saying. It's a dishonest way to live, to say I'm not racist, and so I don't have to look at it, I don't have to think about it. It's just so weird. Old Hickory, what is that question? Let me look at you. You said something. How would you describe a world without white people? How would I describe a world without white people? Sociologically, psychologically, I think if there were, to be honest, it's a very complex question. If there was a world without white people, then there would be a world without at least our modern day racism that is so prevalent in that. So I'm not sure if white people just went away right now, all of a sudden, it would be peaceful, very peaceful, I think. I'm just saying. But if there never was, see, I'm thinking way too much into it. But like if they just went away now, I think it would be, and I don't hate white people, just moving forward. Yeah, I think that you know what? I've come full circle in this. When I went on to Scott, Scott Phillips' show. Oh, absolutely, Old Hickory, no problem. When I went on a show, he is very, very Afrocentric about the continent. He believes there is really no place for true equality here. Okay, it's only been like freaking centuries. I totally get what he's saying. I was keeping hope, kind of like keeping hope that like white people could become human and actually like learn to use their God-given humanity to actually think and not be like blind zombie followers to a cult of sick lies, which is what white supremacy is. I'm sorry. White people know they're not superior. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's a joke. It's like very psychological. Like you're fooling yourself and I'm superior. Please give me a break. Like I always say, if the best thing you ever did was to get born white, that's pathetic. I mean, so it's this very psychological, strange thing. You got me thinking. I better shut up. I'll go on and on. It's dangerous to be thinking for me. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, that's a good question. Thanks for asking that, Old Hickory. I appreciate it. Anastasia. Yes, that fake pastor advised him to have his rally with a great civil rights backdrop. Thousands were murdered, and Stephen Miller will be writing his. Yeah. How inappropriate. How it's almost like, I don't know how you feel, as a super intelligent Black woman, but the first thing that comes to mind is that's like, I'm looking for the right word. It's almost like this, he's crossed the line. That's just crossing the line. Like, how dare he hold a rally in Tulsa on Juneteenth? How dare he? Like, it just, I don't have the right word for it. Probably my vocabulary is not big enough for it. But yeah, it's just, it's not good. Gary, white woman in regards to a Black Lives Matter comment I made about Trump. White's explaining to me that we need to be nicer to Trump fans. Her husband disagrees with me, and he is Black. She thinks I'm Black. Be nicer to Trump fans? It's kind of funny. Once upon a time in my very naive days, and I'm kind of still in those days, so don't get any misconceptions here. I thought, and I'm just going to admit it, I thought that racist people, and this is when I was little, because I didn't have any guidance, so I didn't know. I thought racist people just didn't understand. Like they just mean people that did things like that. Well, they just don't get it. So I'll just explain it to them, and then they'll be like, oh, okay. And so I was nice to people and explained it, and they don't give a shit. Okay, I'm sorry. No, they don't. And yeah, no, Gary, you're awesome. But yeah, I was once that naive person who thought I just need to sit down with them and teach them that the Human Genome Project, I'll just teach them and they'll be, wow, okay. Yes, I've been living a very quiet life. Okay. Wow. Anastasia. I will back it up. Okay, Anastasia, we had a world without white people before the slave trade started. Mm-hmm. And Old Hickory, thank you for taking my question. I read that. You're absolutely welcome. Thank you for that question. Anastasia, let's be clear. If we do not eradicate racism, tribalism, xenophobia from everyone, it will just be the changing of the whip. Yeah. I mean, see, it's hard to say how a group of people that has been crimes against humanity have played out against them for centuries. I'm talking about Black people who are descendants of chattel slavery. Okay. I consider all of it. I'm talking emancipation after, before, to be a crime against humanity. Up to this, I think systemic racism, in my mind, how I think about it, is a crime against humanity. And that's one of the reasons I speak out, whether I get to white people or not, is because I will not stand and watch a crime against humanity and do nothing. I won't. I can't. When I do this, I do this for me. I'm not a hero. I didn't even know who that Candace lady was. I'm like the moron that tries. But like hell if I'm going to sit and watch this. I'm only on this earth for a pretty short amount of time in relative comparison. And I am not going to sit and watch this bullshit lie from my fellow humans hurting my other fellow humans. I won't do it. So that's why I do this. And what was I trying to say anyway? Yeah, I don't know how people would be if they hadn't have been horrifically treated for all that. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people say to me, there's nothing you can do. There'll always be racism. There's nothing you can do. And I'm sorry. That is a total cop-out. We are human. We have this gift. We are animals, but we have this cool thing called a brain that actually can do critical thinking skills. So what the hell? We should use those skills. Okay? Sure, we can get afraid, but because we're human, we don't have to act upon this fear. We can learn about it and say, I'm afraid, and that's ridiculous. So I won't act upon it. And I truly believe people who are severely racist, and they are not acting human. They are not using their God-given, whoever given gift, which is the gift of being able to think critically and not just act on instinct. It's a gift. We got to use it. It's painful to use, but we need to use it. And so I am very disappointed in people who can't think, my parents raised me to be afraid of Black people, but you know what? They're humans. When I was in first grade, I played with Black kids and they were just like me. What changed? I won't accept that there's nothing we can do. That's a cop-out. That's just like a classic cliche thing to say. Oh, well, I don't give a shit. Okay, I'll shut up now. Just let me see here. But Anastasia, absolutely. Great point. I mean, I guess it's human nature to do this kind of thing, but I don't know. There's a lot. It's complex. Social science is very complex. I will detail. I love detail. Thank you for your honesty. Oh my God. Absolutely. Ask me anything. And you know what? Here's the thing. When we talk about systemic racism and racism as a crime against humanity that's ongoing, I do not require thanks from anybody. I appreciate it's really sweet, but I pride myself in being honest as I can in everything. Why would I not be honest about this? It's like such a weird, like if I'm honest, why would I, well, not honest about racism, like that's weird. I'm consistently kind of like the same. And I don't. People say, oh, you do it out of guilt. They are so wrong. But they can think whatever they want. I don't feel guilty. I feel pissed. They're misinterpreting my emotions. This should have been eradicated long ago. I'm sorry. We shouldn't live in this society of white supremacy. It's ridiculous. It's 2020. I give me a break. It's ludicrous that we still live in a society that is absolutely centered around white supremacy. It's like technology's doubled, tripled, quadrupled, and yet here we sit like we're like low IQ. No comment. I should shut up before I get in trouble. It might be too late, but absolutely my honor to speak the truth. Everybody should. That's the thing. See, everyone should be, and that white folks don't is just, oh, you got me on a rampage now. Insanity. And yeah, I'm judgmental because you know what? It's hurting my fellow humans and it kills me to see people hurt. I'm just too sensitive for this place. I can't take it. And if I can't stop them from being hurt, but I can at least say I'm trying to do something. And that matters to me. And that's actually why I do it. It's because it hurts worse to sit and watch. So I don't know how to explain it. Oh, I'm just blabbing away. Anastasia. And just because white people aren't here, it doesn't mean that the effects of white supremacy won't be here. Yeah, I don't know how that would work. That's a good, well, if you look at Jane Elliott's first kind of experiment on her classroom, which now would be like, oh, she'd be fired, chastised, but you know, the blue eyes experiment, she, you know, in a small microcosm of a way, she turned those kids against each other. And then when the ones that were against each other and getting the bad end of the deal first switched around, they fell into place. But with the idea of they knew how it felt. And little kids are really easy like that because they're very innocent. And the kids, if you watch her original experiment she does, it's about like 45 minutes. It's awesome. The kids are like really honest. And they say like, you know, I felt so bad because I knew how I felt when I was, you know, very interesting. But that's the closest I've ever come to seeing an experiment like that. I don't know. It's a good question. Let me see. Kitchen politics? You're here? How did this happen? Oh my gosh. Welcome. I better back up. But Anastasia, great point. I don't feel anything because it's expected. They have, okay, Anastasia, I don't feel anything because it's expected. They have no bottom. Just because white people are here. I'm not 100%, I'm not 100% sure what you're saying, and I want to understand what you're saying. So if you're still here, if you can, I'll get to these. I'll get to you because I'm Global Entertainment TV. Yes, for us as well until Global Entertainment TV. If you're still here, thank you so much for being here. You were just too adorable. You were like waiting. I was like, I have a person waiting. That is so sweet. Thank you so much. You're incredibly supportive. Like, honestly, thank you so much. You're probably like, you left like 10 minutes ago. Thank you. You're like, you're just kidding. Okay. I have such incredibly nice people here. Let me see here. Kitchen politics. Did you just get off work? Cold shower, and I'm coming back quickly. Don't worry, I'll keep blabbing. You know I will. Kitchen politics. 120 degrees. God, is it? You know, it was warm out where we are, but you're way down there. Oh, must have been dying. I'm not going to say that. Very funny. You always have the good lines. Kitchen politics. I love that thing you sent me. I can't remember what it was. I just saw it. It was like some sort of meme thing. It was very funny. Very true. Let me see. Anastasia. It's like the scorpion and the frog parable. It's their nature. I guess so. I don't know. I'm just stubborn, I guess. I'm not sure. I just can't. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to cry. No, I'm just kidding. This has been really tough seeing, I was talking to Nails and Glitter and and she's saying, well, it's always been that way. And I get that, but I've never seen it so unapologetic with the police brutality. I mean, literally 200 people are watching and they still do. The whole world was watching that man who fell over and hit his head, and then they all walked by. It was like, what the actual, I mean, I've never seen one-on-one. Oh yeah. I mean, I was in the LA riots. I wasn't there for Rodney King's horrific beating by those psycho police, but I was in the riots when I was a school teacher in Compton during the riots. And I mean, I know what police are capable of doing. It's horrible. And, also on the earth, and I look into it. But on that scale, like 35 today, 35 different things that I saw just today, they were in front of huge crowds. It's like, they're not even trying to, I don't know. It's scary. Anastasia, white supremacy has poisoned the globe, and until we educate and get rid of that virus, it's self-perpetuating. Absolutely. And also, Anastasia, with the money, it's in the best interest of the wealthiest elite to keep us. Black people are the reason for all my problems. It's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. I mean, even Lyndon B. Johnson, he, as racist as he might have been, he got it. The white folks are being played, and we are falling for it every time. So sad. And the wealthiest elites thank us for our service, keeping racism alive so they can get rich and everyone else can struggle. Yeah. Jean Elliott says we get rid of racism in 20 years if we start in pre-K and teach the truth. Yes, agree 100%. I did not know she said that, but I said that first. She copied me. If there's a comprehensive program from K through 12 in 20 years, 100%. If it could come top down. Right now it's bottom. We're both teachers, so we know this. No, I'm just kidding. I love Jane. She's the first person I met that made me realize that I wasn't insane. I'd never met anybody who saw what I was seeing and talked about it. I was very sheltered. And I met her, I found her work in college. My first year, I was 18. And I was like, it's not me. When I was 6 years old, I saw racism. I didn't know what it was. And I was like in the twilight zone because the adults were pretending it wasn't there. And it was freaking me out. And then when I was 12, I kind of caught on a little bit more. And then finally, when I was 18, I got it. I mean, as much as in the sense that I was like, okay, there's a name for this. And it's like, wow. And I thought I was the only one up until a certain age. And I was very confused. I was just a poor innocent white girl. No, I'm just kidding. It was weird because I was raised in the colorblind. No one talked about it. Era of colorblindness. What? We don't see color. We don't even say we don't see color. That's how much color we don't see. This is crazy. Yep. Let me just see here. I absolutely believe that to be true. Anastasia, absolutely. Oh goodness. Backing it up because I won't be quiet. Let me just see. Sorry, I lost my space because okay, found it. Great point. I did not know she said that. That's interesting. I thought I saw all of her stuff. Kitchen politics. Slavery into Jamaica in 1834. U.S. in 1865. Equal pay for equal work in Jamaica since 1976. U.S. 1996. You see, we've rested on our supposed laurels, and we really shouldn't have. USA always playing catch up to third world countries. That is sad that we are so backwards. Right, but we talk about how great we are. So aren't we great if we talk about how great we are? We can talk about liberty and justice like you've never seen. Liberty and justice for all. We just have this little clause that says for all isn't you. It's like liberty and justice for all, but not you. Nobody reads the fine print anymore. I swear. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's America is one big joke because we're living a fucking lie. We're living a lie. And you know what? Apparently, that's part of our culture, is to live a lie. The police are here to serve and protect, just not you. That's the only thing. I'm just going to add the just not you part in there. That there's always this disclaimer that we forget to read. But yeah, no, it's great point, Kitchen Politics. Great point. Damn, you're good after work. Okay, a prime example is the genocide in Rwanda. Yep. You asked me what I felt about Trump and his stupid rally on the Juneteenth. I don't feel anything. It's expected, and thank you. So what you're saying is you wholeheartedly believe that there is no low that they won't, I mean, there are no depths that they will not go. Thank you. That makes sense. Because you're smart and you learn and seen from experience. He truly is. He's the de facto leader of the modern Ku Klux Klan. And so you'd expect nothing less. Damn. Thank you so much. I learned so much from you and people on this. Oh my God. Yeah, okay. I get it. Makes sense. Thank you for taking the time to explain. Kitchen Politics. America has always evolved later than the rest of the world, although we say we're number one in everything. We are number one in wrong category and lack in where we should be number one. How can we change that and catch up with the rest of the world? In my very not humble opinion, how we do it is a huge cultural shift. It's called, I was going to say what I was going to say. It's called humans over money. Okay? Humanity over greed. And until we get past our capitalism as a lifestyle, capitalism on steroids as a lifestyle, not just an economic, system, we're screwed because it's so Machiavellian. It's disgusting. It's like a corporation is not a person. I'm sorry. Okay? A corporation does not have a heart. And we are driven. It's gone too far. Capitalism has gone too far. This is just my opinion. I don't know anything. I'm just, that's just my opinion. I'm nobody, but thank you for asking. How can we change? It's our culture. Our culture is feeding into this. We live a lie. And most white folks, no offense, go through their entire life living that lie and die with the lie. Die with the lie. My God, did I just make up okay. I haven't had much sleep. But yeah, no, we're lying sacks of shit, basically. I mean, we're living a lie because it suits us. We think it doesn't suit all of us, but we don't know that. Great questions. Anastasia, in order to get rid of racism, we have to tell the truth. And I just said that. Oh my God. Where I'm bonding with and the U.S. refuses to tell the truth. Thank you. Larry Claude today said systemic racism does not exist. Who's that? Well, I think he doesn't exist. No, just kidding. If someone says systemic racism doesn't exist, that's kind of laughable. It's like every single statistic proves otherwise. Life, just standing watching, proves otherwise. Historical information that's true proves otherwise. Everything proves otherwise. That's just weird. Why would somebody say that? They're full of shit. I don't know who that is. Maybe some famous dude. Because remember, I don't follow pop culture, but he's completely lying. He's full of it. Oh well, that's sad. in order to get rid of, yes, nails and glitter. You're seeing it for yourself, and it's undeniably gruesome, but it's not new. Are you talking about like the police doing all these terrible things? I just seeing them do them so openly with hundreds of people watching. Like I could see them doing it with like one person going, "You say anything, I'll beat you up." But like they're on video and they still don't care. It's just unbelievable. But yeah, no, I know this is. It's been very hard for them because they've had to, try to control themselves now that cell phones have become so popular. They're very upset about it. Now, honestly, I truly believe these people just must. I mean, the spousal abuse rate alone with folks who are police is off the charts. I've read some decent research. My oldest daughter sent me some very good research, and I was like, yeah, it all makes sense. But yeah, America is a hot mess. We're a spicy disaster. You're making me hungry. Classism in some cultures are ingrained because of British colonialism, but racism not so much. U.S. has a major problem with both racism and classism. Amen to that. And I'm so happy you're here. I mean, not good, but speaking the truth is good. Actually, I said something so stupid today. I was writing, and I put, I'm going to, I was trying to, kind of tell people to, I hope you come tonight to listen to this, about police brutality and all these different experts. I said, I'm going to have experts in police brutality tell us how to get rid of it. And for some reason, it sounded like I was going to say, I should just have the police, the cops, because they're police brutality. They're the experts at police brutality. I'm like, should I clarify that? And I'm like, no, they know what I mean, right? Because I don't want you to think that okay, I'll shut up. But the police do seem to be experts at it. Like the things they're doing is way beyond, it's just taking a knee so people will come closer so you can shoot them in the face. That's evil. Like taking somebody who you're shooting this tear gas at or whatever it is, and because they're not looking at you, you think they're not getting enough, so you grab their head and go and stick it in their eyes. I mean, that's some evil shit. That's not just brutality. That's above and beyond brutality. It's just so crazy. Okay. Let me see where. Oh my goodness. I should go late every night. I'm getting people that I don't usually have, or maybe. Okay, I'm excited. I better back it up. Okay, kitchen politics. We can overcome these by teaching our real history and not whitewashed in the classrooms. Parents have to teach their offspring not to be racist or classist. 2045 demographics will change all that. I think it'll change all that slowly. Not immediately, obviously, but yes. I actually did a video on what parents can do to raise good citizens who are culturally competent and love all their human beings for their good. And it might sound goofy, but you can actually raise kids that. There was a little boy right before he came on, a little 9-year-old, little redhead freckled little guy, cute kid. He heard about the Black Lives Matter movement and he lived in the suburbs and he decided he was going to join. And nobody in his neighborhood was there to join with him. So he joined himself. And it was just so cute. I wanted to cry. I'm going to post it. I didn't have time. He went out and he decided, since he had no one to protest with, he was going to go in front of his house with a whole bunch of chalk. And as people walked by in this suburban neighborhood, he was going to talk to them, see if they wanted to draw a heart on the ground and talk about all people deserve happiness and love, no matter what. And he was barely 9 years old. And it was just so damn cute. And the mom said, I didn't tell him to do it. And she was beaming. So there are people who are doing it right, just not enough. Just not enough to end the cycle of racism, to be appalled by it, which is what all white people should be, appalled. Just absolutely over the off the charts, like, I don't know, just my take. But this thing was just precious because this kid clearly had no clue what he was talking about. He was so cute. And he was like, yeah, I heard that some people are doing some really bad things, and I just don't think it's right. He'll be a senator, so hopefully not a corrupt one, but it was precious. It was very, very innocent. Yes. Anastasia. So this country started with Virginia Company, and so it always has been about business and how can we steal and exploit resources. It's always worked, so why change? Yeah, there's no incentive to change, especially the rich people are getting richer the same way they always did. Larry Kudlow is Trump's director of the National Economic Council. I mean, the name sounds familiar, but I hate politics, but it's just, I used to not literally know a single thing about it. I kind of still don't. But what happened was all my platforms that I did were about helping to educate people about racism, bigotry, and equality. And then Trump came along, and he's a racist, bigoted misogynist. So I had to like kind of figure out all the stuff with politics because it's like opened the door basically to everything about him has to do with racism and or bigotry or inequality or misogyny or inhumanity or inequality. So now it's like all Trump all the time. So that's giving you my sob story. That's my sob story. And that's why I have to talk about him. I can't stand him. But great points. Thank you, Anastasia, for educating me and anyone else who doesn't know. I'm probably like the only one. Patrice, it does exist. Just look up the lie or definition of white and black in the dictionary. You start learning it when you were told to pick up the dictionary when you were a child. Look it up. Absolutely. In fact, the last video I did for the beginners, I had a couple lines in there explaining that we don't like to be called white people, even though we made it up to make sure we could exploit every other person. And then I took it out of there because I thought, this is a beginner video. Come on, calm down, calm down. I was like trying to teach everything in one thing. And it was really cool. Patrice, I'm thrilled that you are here. If you're still here, I've been blabbing. I know it's kind of late, but thank you so much for being here. And excellent point. We are indoctrinated. It's unbelievable. We are indoctrinated. It's incredible. Oh, Robert, thank you. And thank you so much for all your support. I always read what you write on my videos, and I can't thank you enough. Seriously. Norm, do you think America will ever grant reparations to the descendants of slavery? I think, okay, this is going to sound crazy. It's a great question. American ADOS. Yeah. I think if America stays America, I think we're going to be taken over by a dictator named Trump, and that then hell no one will get anything. And we think it's bad now. The white folks that have been so racist, they'll be begging black people to forgive them. I'm just saying, when we all have a common enemy, the dictator, we just don't have a common enemy yet. But if we stayed the way we are right now and didn't turn into a dictatorship, yes, I do. Yep. I don't think it'll be soon because right now, white America is delusional. Not everybody, but most of us, and enough that we still have Trump. So yeah, we're delusional about white folks don't even know what reparations are until this past political, where Marianne Williamson and Black Lives Matter and all those kind of groups made it so that all the candidates that were running against, I guess, Biden, sorry, I have to say it, they put it on the table because she came in. First thing she said was, my number one goal is reparations. And that's the first time I've ever heard anybody say that. And what it did was it forced people to face reparations on the Democratic side, which really they've never seriously done when they have their little meetings every 10 years and talk about it. Yeah, right. They do nothing. Okay. But this put it on the table. So some people had to make a decision. And it's the first time I saw progress. Like they had to talk about it while they were running, and everybody had a stance on it, except for maybe like one or two. And so, I mean, some were wishy-washy, like, oh, research it more. Oh, please, you know. But so if we don't turn into a dictatorship, yeah, public opinion is changing very slowly. But after seeing this protest and white people, for whatever reason, coming on board a little bit more than we've never seen anything like this in my life. I don't know if they get it, but they get it enough that they're stepping up to the plate. And they were doing nothing before, so at least it's a positive thing. People are like blown away. I've read some of the professional people are like, damn. But yes, for a long conclusion, yeah, if it stays, I think so, yeah. Very much deservedly so. Yep. I think it would be amazing. Right now, oh my God, half of white America thinks they deserve reparations. I mean, it's people are so misinformed about systemic racism. They don't get it. They think it's like individual racism. They think, well, I'm not racist. It's like, it has nothing to do with you. It's like, oh, it's just crazy. So we have a long ways to go on the basics. Okay, take some more comments. Anastasia, you were asking why they are so bold with their brutality in front of all these people. It's indoctrination and lack of consequences. They are protected, and so who cares what I do? Secondly, I think a lot of white people think the cops... Wait, you were going to continue. I'm not sure where that went. Wait, the cops are... I hate this that they only let you say a certain amount. Yeah. I'll get to it. Secondly, I think that... Okay. Yeah, I mean, right. There are literally no consequences. And I guess at a certain point you think, hey, what the fuck? I'll just go do what I want. I mean, you're right, probably. At a certain point, you're like, hey, it's a free-for-all. Because it is. Very rarely will they throw someone under the bus. Very rarely. I think this guy that murdered George Floyd is going to get thrown under the bus, though. I think he crossed the line, sitting there staring at us with his smug little face while he murdered someone on live camera. Yeah, I think he's going to get... I think they're going to call it a loss for him. Kitchen politics. Can Trump cancel the November 3rd election? Yes, but Pelosi would become acting president until date is set for the election, so American choose would be a first and may cause a constitutional crisis. I think we're... Kitchen politics. I think we're way past constitutional crisis. This man has circumvented the freaking Constitution every chance he's gotten. He's stolen, begged, borrowed. He's a monster. I think the Constitution, for all practical purposes, does not have... I think Trump's above the law at this point. He has a clan of people around him who protect him. I call him the Klan. And he is the de facto modern leader of the Klan. I'm sorry. But yeah. Wow. I wasn't worried until you said that. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, you did. Okay, I think a lot of white people think the cops... Okay, is paying attention. It was the same with Freedom Riders, and things changed. See, it's so hard because they cut you off. Kitchen politics. I agree with repatriation, but strengthen institutes like affirmative action, scholarship programs, healthcare, and other things that help minorities. That would be better, in my opinion. Repatriation. Did I miss a comment? I probably did. Oh my God, I'm so bad. Nails and glitter. My issue with affirmative action is mostly that it benefits white women. Black people need something separate in addition to adjusting what we already have. Yeah, definitely. Monetize. Shalom. Hello. Hi. I know I'm butchering your name, but thank you for being here. We're kind of wrapping up the show, but I'm happy you're here. Welcome. And Agree Nails and Glitter. And I'm at the very end. And it's past midnight. And the next section, just kidding, I was simply going over the police union contracts that block accountability. And it's very, very convenient. They have all these rules, and it's kind of like the teachers union, but those guys have guns. They have all these rules that make it hard to really find out the truth. And you guys, there's going to be some concessions that are going to be given, like writing Black Lives Matter in the street. And that's really lovely and everything, but that is not taking down the system. And it is not my place to say what to do, but I am just mirroring what all of, and I mean, I have a Black friend, like 200, 300, 500, all of my friends. All right, and this is kind of a thing. It needs to be dismantled. I just hope to hell people aren't going to have bright eyes and go, oh, they're going to do this. This system is a system made to harm our sisters and brothers who are Black, brown, African American, Indigenous. It was made for that, and it's working, and they're getting away with it. I'm so pleased that people are actually doing this. And I don't even care what the motivation is at this point. This is a sick, sick crime against humanity that has gone on since they were slave catchers. Not a lot's changed, just, our ideas of what's okay. But let me tell you, I need to tell you guys, this could be amazing. People just can't give into these stupid things. Well, we'll do this. Like the expert that I just read about said, dismantle. Reform is a joke. It's not coming from me. This guy is a professor of sociology. He is the go-to guy everyone's listening to. And that is why all the signs we see are saying defund. Okay, speech over. Just kidding. I'm going to take everybody catch up, and then I'm going to say goodnight to everybody because you're probably probably falling asleep. Kick-ass bass boost. Wait, kick-ass bass boost? It's like a tongue twister. Hello, I'm new to your channel, and I really like it. Thank you. I am so happy you came by and said something. Welcome. It's a friendly atmosphere for the most part, although the name is Angry Soccer Mom. I'm not angry. I'm just devastated and disappointed. I am so happy to have you. Every Wednesday, this is what we do, and I am so incredibly happy to have so many great people here. Great to meet you. Kitchen politics. What will happen if Trump loses, then takes to Twitter to say he actually won? Oh, think about that for a moment. It seems perfectly plausible. In fact, it would seem likely and dangerous. Yeah, I wish I could say that. I don't want to get kicked off this. Yeah, Trump, you always know when he's lying. When he opens his mouth. I'm not, that's a good question. I mean, he can say whatever he wants. It's a toughie. That's a toughie. I don't know. The man shouldn't even be there. He's just a terrible human being. He's the culmination of everything that is inhumane about humans. I don't get it. It's so crazy. Manatazach. Okay, I am butchering your name. I really appreciate you standing up for the truth. Glad to be in your life. Oh, thank you. It is my honor to speak the truth. No thanks needed, but I appreciate that. It's a very nice compliment. I could scream it from the rooftops if those scary police wouldn't come and get me. I think all white people should. I think it's our responsibility not out of guilt, not out of religion, out of being a human being. It's the right thing to do. You don't watch your fellow human get traumatized and abused, and just, it's a crime against humanity what systemic racism is. It really is. It's an ongoing crime against humanity. And sure, we didn't create it. We're all born into it. But we're here now. It doesn't mean we just watch it and say, oh, I didn't create it. It's not my responsibility. Yeah, it actually is, because we benefit from it. So absolutely my honor. And I wish I could do more. I feel very helpless at times, but thank you for that. Nice. Let me see. The new Christian politics. The new slavery is the prison industrial. Oh, yeah. They own the GOP and a very influential lobbyist group. They finance politicians who agree with their agenda. It's so scary. Oh, my gosh. Making money off of people's sorrow. And that's like, if that's not inhumane, I don't know what is. And what we just talked about earlier about how the police are the first line of total injustice, and then there's like a million steps that just putting people who are mentally ill in prison, people who are drug addicted in prison. They need help. They don't need to be locked up in a cage away from their family and people who love them. They need help. So I think we're going to end it on that. Gary, kitchen politics, all too likely. Alabaster, Opho minions will believe his word. Yeah, right. They will. I know. It's crazy. Enjoy it, bro. The police have a right to protect themselves and their community against those rioting thugs. Yeah, they have a right to, but that's not really the issue we're talking about here. Yeah, that's not the rioting thugs are one thing, but sorry, nails and glitter. Yeah, they do, but that's missing the point completely. Sorry, it is, and enjoy it, bro. Knows that in his heart, I'm sure. That's completely missing the point. It's about Black Lives Mattering. Blue lives have always mattered. Sorry. Nails and glitter. And it's like midnight. Did you fall asleep? I'm just totally teasing. I love you. All right. But it's good. That was good that I got to answer. And I'm not into bullshit here. And I'm just being honest. White people's lives have always mattered. It's not our turn. People have a hard time with that. Thank you so much for being there, everybody. You're wonderful. I met so many cool people, and the older people, not older, but the former people that I love came here. Nails and glitter, the police should do their job and stop complaining and killing citizens. There we go. Yeah. I'm all for dismantle. I'm telling you, those autonomous zones, I was kind of liking those. No police, nothing, just like it's like a commune. Maybe I'm a hippie. I don't know. But thank you so much for being here, everybody. You always make this amazing. So hang in there and stay safe. And this, I think, is a good thing overall. Police have shown their stuff to the world. So I'm hoping it goes somewhere. All right. I love everybody. Good night. It is so late, but I'm happy I got to talk to everybody. Sweet dreams, everybody, and please be safe. I hate to say it, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Kitchen Politics, thanks for being there. Good night, everybody. Don't be a stranger. You can get a hold of me at, let me see if I can write this, the only place, a personal message at this page, right there. So if you want to say hi, I promise to get back to you. I'm really bad. Good night, everybody. I think I ended.